Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more of the First Descendant. And last time, well, we were checking out the character who many seem to say is the worst in the game, that being Jaber. So we tested him out. It's not like we spent a whole bunch of time trying to power him up and prove people otherwise. We were just seeing what it was like to use Jaber. But today we do have something else we are going to focus on. How's it going, Itachi? How are you? But yeah, the plan is, I mean, of course, we can always do daily related things and whatnot, and I did, for what it's worth, do a lot more of one of the other things that we were doing last time, which was farming up the Void Colossus fight. The Tormentor. I did a whole lot of Tormentor fights. Basically, I reworked, or I did a few more upgrades on my Ancient Knight, and then I swapped around, made a few tweaks to our Serena build to make her a little bit stronger, and after doing so, found that we could, in fact, solo the Tormentor pretty quickly and consistently.
Need us so desperately.
I mean, obviously, all the Colossus fights, they have less health when it's just one person, so that made a big difference, but got a lot of damage with the Ancient Knight, which helps a lot as well. But as you can see here, we do have a new character to try out today. New, at least, to me, kind of, sort of, because Kyle he's been in the game for a while now, but we've yet to play him, at least on stream, since the release of the game. He is a character that I have played previously in the beta, so I do have some experience with him. But why don't we break him out here? And there he is. And I figured that because there have been, I think, some very minor things, mostly just dailies changing this week. Not a lot of other new content. It seemed as though it'd be a good time to break out some of the characters that we had yet to spend much, if any, time with at all. So why don't we hop on over to take a look at what Kyle brings to the metaphorical table. So,
my strength, I will pull everything towards me.
skip on the auto module assignment stuff. But he is the controller, apparently. Let's throw the stat graph on, because he's theoretically, I think, supposed to be a tank, which is true. He does have some skills, and we can look at them now, that are very tank-oriented, although it seems like maybe more recently, post full game release and other updates, he's become more of a damage-based character as well. So he has this dash, which I believe, yeah, you can use 3 times before, you can use it 3 times, and then each individual stack has a cooldown, so that helps you spam it a little bit. You'll see here, obviously, he's a non-attribute character, which I remember I said once a while ago, I was a little surprised about that, because there are a lot of non-attribute characters, and especially at the very beginning of the game, not nearly as many of the various elements, and his whole idea is he's based around magnetism, and electromagnetism is very much a thing, so they could have made him an electric character, but alas, he's still non-attribute. But there's his dash, which damage is actually, wow, it's more than I would have expected from that. But I have definitely seen other people using this just for movement's sake, speed of moving about. Maybe if you have a whole bunch of movement speed cores, then might still be faster to just run with him, but not entirely sure about that. Obviously, haven't tested it, at least certainly not recently. This is more the type of tank-like skill we see here, where he just creates a large barrier, recovers magnetic force. Every time the barrier blocks an attack, recovers additional magnetic force proportional to the damage blocked. So in this case, what, it costs shields to use it? I don't remember. Let's see. Defense, fire resistance, chill resistance, all the elements. And it has HP based on Kyle's HP. Okay. Then magnetism spurt. The preview currently just shows... Okay, I was gonna say, just shows Kyle getting wailed on by all those enemies. When hit by enemies in the magnetism spurt state, magnetic force is consumed. We've heard a few references to magnetic force already, but I think that's his unique resource, kind of like mana, or more like electricity for Bunny. Is consumed instead of shield and HP. When all magnetic force is consumed or the skill button is pressed again, it discharges the magnetic force to deal damage. When the skill ends, restore shields to nearby allies and self proportional to max shield. So this one... Let's see. 16 or 15 second duration at base. That's a high damage number, although this doesn't seem like the kind of thing you would really use as a primary damage dealer, since it... I guess you don't need to rely on the enemies to hit you, since it seems like you can press the button twice and it'll automatically trigger the explosion, if I am reading that correctly. Additional damage based on the consumed magnetic force. The radius is actually surprisingly big. Wow. Okay. And then you also get damage reduction. Again, tank-oriented stuff. Then lastly, you have his 4, which is very interesting. Uses superconductivity thrusters to soar into the air, then descends, colliding with enemies and dealing damage upon impact. Damage increases proportionally to the amount of magnetic force consumed, so it seems like building up a lot of magnetic force is definitely a major point of emphasis here. When the skill ends, magnetic force is fully consumed. While using the skill, you become immune to knockdown and knockback, so it's not like you can get staggered out of that animation, which would be unfortunate if that were the case, because the cooldown is very long, as you see there, 120-second base cooldown. Need to have at least, 30% magnetic force to use it, so it's not like you can just use it right off the bat, but, yeah, that damage number is unbelievably high. I mean, usually we see damage numbers in the thousands, and we say, oh, that's really strong. No, this is an order of magnitude bigger than that. This is in the tens of thousands. That's insane. I don't remember what number this had in the beta, but it may not have been anywhere near that large, but this is maybe sort of like what I was talking about, where Kyle has become a little bit more of a damage character more recently. Expandable, what is the base radius? 5 meters? Okay, and duration is 6 seconds, so the base version of this, he, basically creates a jetpack, or uses his jetpack, flies into the air, and then does a huge ground slam for ridiculous damage. So that's what I'm familiar with as his skill there, although I believe there are some Transcendent modules that can change that. And then I imagine the passive skill is going to, have something to do with the magnetic force, so max amount of magnetic force increases proportionally to the max shield. So, potentially reason to focus on shield with him. Yeah, I mean, both HP and shield theoretically are fairly high right off the bat. But it's pretty rare, if ever, that there's a character you actually want to scale shields on, but maybe Kyle is one of them. Also, I'm just realizing that these are magnets that he has, these little spinny things on his armor. That's clever. And I've definitely seen Kyle plenty of times before. As I said, how long ago was the beta? 2 years ago now, maybe? I played him then, but I did not remember that part. Okay, so, but what else do we have with the magnetic force? So, when shield is fully consumed, gains magnetic care. This effect has a cooldown. Magnetic force gradually decreases while out of combat. The cooldown for the magnetic care is extremely long, it seems. I assume that's what this cooldown is relating to. Magnetic force is twice your max shield. Magnetic Care, 10-second duration, and you recover shields every second during that duration. Okay. Alright. So yeah, a combination of tank-related stuff and potentially some really big burst damage. Remember him from the beta? Yeah, I remember he was in the beta. Obviously, not all the characters were available in the beta. But he was one of the last characters that I unlocked in the beta. And I had, I think, low expectations for him going in, to be honest, because I thought of him, my expectations were that he was just going to be a straightforward tank, he's going to take a lot of damage, he's going to have a lot of HP and shields, but he's not going to be that exciting to play. But I remember being pleasantly surprised when I used him then. And I think that was, I mean, as I said, I think he's gotten a lot more damage recently, but even when he didn't have as much damage, I think I was pleasantly surprised by how fun it was to play with a tank-like playstyle. And then I definitely did use this as like a big finishing move. I doubt it was as strong as it is now, so it's probably even better than it once was. I mean, that cooldown is pretty brutal, though. Alright. Just get a good look at Kyle here. Base Kyle. Okay, and for what it's worth, we obviously... the most recent Ultimate character to get released was Ultimate Blair. We're expecting for the next Ultimate character to be Jaber, the character that we were trying last time round, and then assuming that they continue to go in chronological order of the characters released, then Kyle would be the next one after that, because he would be the last character remaining that is from the beta. Everyone else came out post-beta. So we may, I don't know how far in the future that would be, but we may see an Ultimate Kyle in the mid-term. Okay, but let's take a look at modules. With that in mind, that does make it a little tricky to decide whether we want to actually invest in multiple catalysts to fully build out Kyle and get him as strong as possible, or if you would rather just say, alright, let's be patient, let's wait it out. Ultimate Kyle may not be that far away, and then you might as well just invest directly in Ultimate Kyle, and you don't have to worry about wasting catalysts on base Kyle, or using one of the very rare consumables that transfers over all the investment from the base version of the character into the ultimate version of the character, because I would probably like to save that for characters like Haley, Inez, ones that we have already invested heavily in and probably will not get an ultimate character of until a ways into the future. So, with all that in mind, I think we probably keep it simple here, and, I mean, Kyle is theoretically a tank, so going with lots of HP, and we were seeing there are some reasons to potentially spec into shields as well. Although, some question as to just how useful that might be, since oftentimes shields just go away instantly. We do have all of the ultimates that have been released. Yeah. I mean, it used to be... I was gonna say it used to be harder to get them. Now that we have super shape stabilizers, it's a little bit easier. And in some cases, that's true. There may be some instances where some of the ultimate character components you can't, or there's no applicable super shape stabilizer to drastically increase the probability of you getting the stuff you want, but at least for some of the characters, I mean, it's... when you can use those, it is just such a humongous difference maker. What category is that under? Is it under Amorphous? It might be. Yeah, these guys, where you take what might have been like a 4% chance to get one of the drops you're looking for an ultimate character, turn that into like a 30+% chance to get the drop you're looking for, and that just makes it so much faster. Now, of course, it's not the easiest thing in the world to acquire the super shape stabilizers, and you kind of need to gradually do it over time, or at least that tends to be the most straightforward way to do so. But once you do have some of those to work with, it just makes it so much easier. Okay, so let's see. So if we aren't going to throw on things like an energy activator or other catalysts, then we don't have that much module capacity to work with here. Generally, I think you just more or less go with... Does he have MP at all? He might not have MP at all. I think you generally just want to go with the stuff that keeps you alive so that you can safely level up. Oh, and actually, these are the external components I had on for Serena, and so it was all just about maximizing HP and to even a certain extent shields. So all about survivability, not caring much about the set bonuses. So that might also work kind of well with Kyle. And then, hold on, let's just take a closer look for a second. Obviously, he's non-attribute, but saw some tech-related things. This is Dimension, but it doesn't deal damage, so assuming we wouldn't go the Dimension route. And this one is also Dimension, but I don't think would be a primary source of damage. So unless one of his Transcendent modules changes what category his skills are, I would think tech would be the way you'd want to go. Oh, and I forgot. We can do this to give ourselves a little more room to work with. Most modules, when they're fully upgraded, cost 16. So that wouldn't work. But if we could get something that costs a little less than that, might be able to squeeze one more thing in. Skill duration. Maybe. Oh, Nimble Fingers is... Oh, and also we do have that. Which actually means we could... might be able to squeeze one more thing in. Max MP? I don't think he has any MP at all. What's the M? Is the label that we need? Skill cost reduction? That's maybe slightly more relevant. Just feel like I'm not really seeing... Well, I guess we could, instead of Nimble Fingers, we could go for a full cost one and throw it on there. Nimble Fingers is good, so I feel okay about using that. Or go power increase instead and replace you altogether. It might just be this. Not that it's necessarily what we want to use long term, but it happens to fit. So we'll go for it. Okay. But now, here, we want non-attribute, we want tech. May have... I almost certainly have more in storage here. This, I'm fairly certain, is our Ajax reactor. Let's check storage real quick. Oh, not chill. This and this. Okay, yeah, a few more options here. So, I think he can be a Colossus killing character, especially with his 4. Although it seemed to suggest that you needed to do some stuff to charge it up before you could use it, so you can't just immediately do it as soon as the fight starts, which would be the best way to take down a Colossus. But this would be really good, if that is still doable. Otherwise... Oh, hold on. Let's see. How crit-oriented are we? Base crit chance is 5. I think that's low. Pretty sure that that is low. So I think that means this is maybe not a character we would end up going crits with. But we saw incredibly long cooldown, so I think that's probably, like, cooldown tech, probably the combo that would be ideal. I would think cooldown crit rate, crit damage tech, crit damage range. Not sure I'm seeing it. Duration cooldown might not be the worst thing. It is sniper rifle as the bonus weapon variety, which is a little unfortunate, but obviously we could swap that around if we would like. We can add something else to it. And it may just be a somewhat temporary reactor that we throw on there, if in fact Kyle is just another character we're testing out a little bit today, but not actually someone we're going to play much until he does get his ultimate version in the however distant future that is. Better, so he's like purple or off purple colored. Just want to see if we have any skins for him. Yeah. Not surprisingly, we do not. I don't think he's ever had a set of skins or other cosmetics you get from the Battle Pass stuff. So, yeah, and I doubt we're going to have any of the other things either. Okay, the more generic things like chest attachment. Maybe. I mean, that's purple. That works. Sure, we'll throw that on. And then he has a jetpack, so I kind of don't want to mess with that. Like, if we put on the roller skates, he loses his jetpack. That doesn't really work. This could work. As good as this. Alright. Maybe, or the wings. Kind of blocks the jetpack. Let's... Color scheme-wise, that works the best. But let's throw on, I don't know, that. Okay. So there we go. We have the basics there. We have a spawn effect we can use. Use this one, I guess. Okay. So now let's get going. Actually, I'll hop into Discord. I don't know if anyone is likely to join us today, or it may just end up being me, but we'll see. Okay. There we go. Right. This, little crank we put on our back. Whatever. Wait. Why am I blanking on what the better way to describe this is? Clockwork. Okay. Oh, yeah, I guess. Crank for a clock. It's more prominent than I thought it would be. I don't like it anymore. Jetpack is fine. Just keep the jetpack. Okay. So, I mean, obviously we're level 1. So we are not going to be doing much regardless of what's mission we do here. Do we deliberately take a different character before doing daily stuff? Maybe we'll start with Sigma Sector stuff, and we'll just kind of cross our fingers that someone else can help us out here. Otherwise, we could be in a bit of trouble with our lack of damage. I did, as I said, do a whole bunch of Tormentor farming, and so was able to get a bunch of the core binders. So we now have enough for every weapon, so don't need to hold back in that regard. We can add a core binder to every weapon. The cores themselves, I have not done that much additional grinding for that, so there are a few other things you'll see here that have been core binded, but might only be lightly cored at this point, if that makes any sense. I threw on a few more catalysts on, as I said, Ancient Knight, and I think maybe a couple on Albion Cavalry Gun as well. Rock with those guys. Just a couple of general rounds weapons, which means we could find ourselves running out of ammo, but as I was saying, we're kind of crossing our fingers that we're going to have some other people who can help us out. Might have made sense to throw on an external component that gives additional character XP. We may not have time to do that. I mean, the alternative is, oh, never mind, this does have character XP. That's perfect. I was going to say, I mean, having stuff that is optimized for survivability is not the worst thing when we're going in as a level 1 character in a level 100 high-risk Sigma Sector mission with no catalyst supplied. Which will also give us some additional arcade tuning points, which obviously we don't have any of on this character. Okay, one other teammate is level 1, the other is level 18. This does make me a little nervous. However, I do see that one of them has one of those badges on, meaning that theoretically they've done some big stuff. So hopefully, I mean, it seems like enemies are going down quite quickly, so... I mean, level 1 characters are not all the same. We're a level 1 character, now we're level 3, but who had never used any catalysts, so we were truly a starting character with no additional things powering us up. Whereas some of these people, even if they're low level, they may already have some catalysts in which case they're functionally far, far stronger than we are. As I said, I upgraded the Albion cavalry gun a bit, mostly from a catalyst standpoint. I'm not sure if I changed anything core-wise on this. I might have made the slightest of improvements on that front, but it should be more damage. So, even if our character is level 1, our weapon is still quite good. So that does help. Our charge ability, which, as I said, I've definitely seen people using just for the sake of movement.
Wide-range shaping charge drop complete. Begin the void energy purification operation.
If we go more on the front line, use this shield, which realistically I don't think our teammates need right now, so we'll put it away. But it's there. That's what it looks like. As we were looking at before, it helps block damage. And we have... Let's just quickly do this. Wait, this, which theoretically gives us some damage reduction, and then after taking a bunch of damage, or if we press the button again, it explodes, or what was more damage than I expected it to be. I don't remember... Uh-oh, have to do this one first, except they're about to do it. So I should stay up here, as this comes next. I don't remember exactly how we generate the magnetic force stuff. It might be from taking damage? Is it from taking damage, or is it from using skills? So you'll see we have, I think, our top... If you look at where all of our skill icons are, below that we have a bar that is, I think, technically sort of grayed out. And then the one below that is empty. What I think would appear if we were to do whatever it is that is required to, yeah, there we go, to generate our magnetic force. Now we have some of that. Means we can do this, which we've basically done nothing to buff, but it did do some damage. I mean, it has like 20,000 skill power. once we do buff up that skill, I think it will be really, really strong. It's more so a question of how quick can we make the cooldown, because it's by default 2 minutes, which is painfully slow. And then, can we find other ways to buff it, damage-wise, and also the whole unique resource that you need to use it, and can, in fact, make it even stronger still.
Extraction from operation zone
Look at
initiated.
how to
Good work, Descendant.
set that up best. Alright, so let's head on back. So we're going to switch over to the other Sigma Sector location. With that, what, got us up to 17, I think it said? I mean, these missions are almost as good experience-wise as or just about the same, as the 400% dungeons, which is probably what we would have otherwise done to level up Kyle, so it's not bad to go this route. And now we can maybe just throw on a little more life with that. Okay, let's double check. How does one acquire magnetic force? Max amount of magnetic force increases. Shield is fully consumed. Gains magnetic care. That doesn't actually say how we generate it, though. This recovers magnetic force. Yeah, it keeps on saying recovering magnetic force, which implies that it's getting back magnetic force that you lost. What about if we don't have any to begin with? Magnetic force is consumed, and this also consumes it. So basically, might be that you get the magnetic force with these two, and then you spend it on these two, kind of along the lines of what happens with Inez, where you have some skills that charge up, other skills, and that's where the unique resource factors in. Okay. Well, why don't we head on over to the other location? We're at least a little bit stronger now, or at least able to take a little more damage. Be curious to see what our actual health number is right now. It is 23,000. That's not bad. That's like
This is HQ.
kind of a normal
Troops are on the
amount,
ground. Transport is en route to standby.
despite being a level 17 character. I mean, we're supposed to be a tank. We do theoretically have higher starting defensive stats, like HP and shields, and then those are the only things we spec into, more or less. I just want to see. Charge the... Okay. Do we have to hit someone for us to get that resource? If I hit nothing. I do still get some, even if I hit nothing. Do we get more if I actually hit enemies? Not sure. Maybe? So in that case, I would think cooldown, as is almost always the case, would be a pretty big deal, so we can spam that skill very often, turning it into more of a movement skill, and also helping to set ourselves up for the big stuff more often.
Scale Vulgis transfer confirmed.
The resource goes away if we're out of combat for a while, so maybe that's why I've seen some people using it for movement, as it's kind of a good trick in between areas, in between waves of enemies. You use it then to not only generate some of the custom resource, but also to make sure that it doesn't just completely disappear altogether. Now that we're fully charged up, is there a nice place where we can use our 4? Oh. Maybe. I might have hit one enemy. I thought I had a group of enemies that we could go after, then the one that I was kind of focusing in on turned out to be a little more spread out from all the other ones than I had realized, and all the other ones just started to run away a bit. But I also don't remember how much AoE that skill has. It might be a lot. It might be quite good at hitting multiple enemies, or it might be something that you kind of have to dedicate to being a single target skill. Though, as I said, I'm fairly certain there's at least one Transcendent module that changes how that works. One moment, please. Is that does consume, doesn't it? I thought I remembered 3 and 4 consume, or is it only when we make it explode? Oh, it's going down. Definitely see the AoE is big. I manually deactivated it there. Just so we could potentially hold on to a little bit of our custom resource. Owie. Oh, he immediately went to mute. Okay. Fair enough. Now, this would be a great place to do this. If I... Ooh, okay. Aimed it a little bit better. Obviously, from a pure damage standpoint... Oh, well. It would be... We'd be getting the most out of the single target damage if we hit one of the bosses directly with it, but I was more so just trying to see area of effect-wise how many enemies can hit with it. They were all very tightly clustered together there. As I said, I imagine in most cases you would actually just use it specifically on these types of guys. Also, can we... Hold on. I can't test this out here, but can we use our dash when we're in the air? We can. I did see someone went down. I did not see where they went, though. Okay, if you could just wait another 40 seconds for us to get our ultimate back. No? How about your way?
Extraction from operation zone initiated. Good work, Descendant.
Alright. Well, honestly, we're already in a place where we have enough survivability, getting up into the upper 20,000s HP-wise, in addition to some of that... Wait, why did our HP number just change? Huh? Why was that 27,000 a minute ago? Do we have something that gives us temporary boost to our HP? Does one of our teammates do that? It's like when we're standing on the Albi's water. No, I don't know what that came from. But anyways, I mean, we're done with those dailies, at least. Although, honestly, you could make the case for, as I said, using those missions for leveling up the character rather than the 400% dungeons, especially since you get more arcade tuning as well. Yes, the first time you do one of those missions per day, you get a much larger burst of arcade tuning XP, but still a decent amount even after that. So the daily rewards have changed. That, in addition to what I assume was probably a few bug fixes, are the main things that have changed this week. And so that's not huge, which is one of the reasons, as I said, why I think it makes sense to go with Kyle this week. But interesting that they are using this as one of the daily rewards. It's one of the pets, one of the fellow experience boosters. So I haven't heard about when the next fellow is on its way, but maybe that's a sign. Might not be that far away. Okay, so now we do have the invasion missions. So now that we're a little bit higher level, I feel better about doing it. Honestly, our damage is still not bad, given how the Albion cavalry gun, to the extent that we needed to use it in those missions, was seemingly doing some work. So I don't think we are just dead weight here. We already have the HP, as we were saying. We already have the weapon damage, at least. The skill stuff, that's probably where we're most lacking at the moment, but that's okay. We can just shoot stuff instead. It'll be fine. And we're not an electric character, so we don't need to worry about electric skill power being reduced, even if it would make sense for this to be an electric character. I think... Oh yeah, Albion Cavalry Gun is now maxed out on proficiency. Might be worth taking a look after this, see if there is a extra catalyst we want to throw in there. May have more or less just reached the point where it has all the catalysts I was looking for.
According to the scan results,
I think I might have had some uncertainty as to whether there are any new or different modules worth experimenting with. Oh, I thought that was an enemy hovering over there, trying to stomp them as if we were in Mass Effect. No, that's not the case. I thought that little sound effect there was an indicator that somebody just got downed. I was like, there are no enemies here. What happened? How? Alright, so this would be, like, in between those zones there. That would have been the right time to use that skill. Little late on that front. I mean, obviously, you could use it for damage as well. But it did not... The gap in between areas with enemies was still small enough and quick enough that we kept our custom resource. We didn't ever lose it. So that would be the concern, of course. Oh, never mind. Oh no, one more person. Never mind, we're going in. Okay, so we now have our ability fully charged, our 4 fully charged up. Or at least our custom resource is fully charged up so that we can use our 4 to the greatest effect. So, maybe, since we were experimenting a little bit more on the AoE side of things, we'll lean more toward damage this time. Why did we lose a little bit there? Do we lose it when we take damage? No, at the beginning I wasn't sure how we got it. I wondered if maybe taking damage was actually how we got it, but I don't think that's the case. Okay. Get you from back here? Yes. There is some aiming involved there. I can move a little bit during that, I think both the rise and the fall. One might call it orchestrated rise to fall. No one will get that reference. But it's a little tricky. He's moving quickly, and there isn't a ton of time to make those adjustments. Oh. Oh, okay. I was looking at the 0% bar for a second. I thought that was his health bar. I was like, is that really how much health he had? And we did not manage to kill him? No, it's a little more than that. It's pretty unusual nowadays. The boss survives beyond the first phase. Had at least one person that went down, and obviously we're low-level character, but even then, with our, oh, this does change locations, that's notable. Yeah, stuff like this, when we have people going down right as we're about to start attacking the boss, unfortunate. I mean, granted, take a little bit of time before we actually Triggered phase. I did not mean to use this. Oops. And he's much lower health now. And if we are actually shooting him, then he will go down much more quickly.
Descendant. This is a phase separation veil.
Would be
which
kind of
uses
curious to
reversion
see
energy. It has a
which
lock
skills are best
which
used for
requires
what.
processing of tens
Like,
of
does
billions
the
of units of
one, our
data.
charge, become our primary
According to the scan results,
area skill?
the structure that appears to be a
Do you
computing
use
device
this, the 3
is
instead?
Vulgis artificial brains.
I think that has the
This
largest
cellular processing
area of
all
effect
about
by default.
Continue to insert Vulgis artificial brains into
That
the
give
computing
us
device, Descendant.
A whole, it uses our unique resource if we just keep it active, but did we get some back when we hit enemies with it? Because our bar is almost full. I'd have to double check that. And by double check that, I mean test that. If so, that's kinda nifty. Okay, so do that. Now, we'll deliberately do this. I did immediately detonate it, so our bar didn't move at all. Maybe I should have kept it active a little while longer. It would have been a little more obvious what effect that had.
Reload.
The enemy commander is using the phase separation veil as a shield. If you overload the computing device, you can create an
Epic
opening
sets
to
us
attack
up
the commander directly.
the magnet grenade, which, for what it's worth, now that I think of it, does kind of seem like a Kyle skill. It is, I mean, I called it magnet grenade because that's functionally what it is, but I don't know if it's technically powered by magnetism. Obviously, Lepic is the grenade character, but apparently he gets preference for that skill. Okay. I feel like we still go with 4 here.
Time to end it.
Okay, yeah, you can see. Does a chunk of damage for sure. I mean, and again, that has... I don't think it has a single thing that is increasing its damage right now on our end. So all of our stuff is defensively scaling at the moment. Even our reactor might just be cooldown duration. I'd have to double check, but I don't know that our reactor is very damage oriented either at the moment. Okay. We could throw on an XP booster, but honestly, as I said, I'm not sure we're actually going to catalyze Kyle today. We might just hit 40 and then switch to someone else, just to test him out a bit, in anticipation of him getting an ultimate character, maybe in the not-so-distant future. So I think we'll be just fine. Okay, enemies inflict electrocution. It's okay. We'll be alright. But yeah, it does seem like, and even as just a level, when we were level 20-ish, maybe even as far back as 17, we still had a lot of health, and I mean, if you have a good damage weapon, you can get by in this game in many instances, even as a weaker character. So we could have been, you know, if you're a character in the teens level-wise, but you still have 20,000 plus HP and a decent damage weapon, like, that's not bad. You can definitely still get the job done. Now, are you going to be pushing endgame content hard with that type of character? No, but I just mean, you know, it's quick and easy to get started with a character like that.
You can disconnect the energy link using your own arcane.
Don't have to stress out about, you know, are we gonna be able to hold our own weight? Oh. I was gonna go for that one. Now I don't remember what other colors we were looking for, or where they are. Stole my spot. World's best grappling hook right there.
Descendant. The enemy commander is using the inversion energy as a personal barrier. We
What
must
just
find a
happened?
device with the same
Did you see that?
arcane properties.
I
You need to
charged-
attack that device from above to penetrate
What?
the inversion energy.
Okay. I charged that with the intention of breaking those canisters. Then it looked like we got stuck on the wall, almost as if we were trying to climb a ladder, which was very confusing. This is Ancient Knight at the moment. It's probably better for Serena, but not as good for Kyle. But yeah, hold on. Hold on a second. That was weird. It looked like we were trying to climb a ladder, and then I just hung out there for a second. And then this happened. What the heck? Or okay. It seems repeatable as well. It wasn't just a one-time weird gimmick.
Descendant. The enemy has modified the ancestor's weapon.
These
with Vulgis
two, and then the
technology,
blue
and are
one
using
over
it to
there.
emit inversion
Okay,
energy.
they're on it.
It appears they are defending the gate with it. The weapon contains ancient arcane. The structure on the ground draws and releases this.
So yeah, I remember...
Descendant. I will show
Excuse
you
me?
the properties of the arcane stored within the weapon.
Okay,
You can
well
disconnect
that
the
was
energy
interesting as
using
well.
your own arcane.
Not sure what to make of both that and the other thing that we were noticing in the boss arena last time. We need the orange? We do. Which is this one. Forgot what I was going to say because I got so distracted by that.
Descendant. The enemy commander is using the inversion energy as a personal barrier.
I mean, you know we have to do it.
We must find a device with the same arcane
It's
properties.
only when you
You need to
truly
attack
get...
that
Oh, no,
device
it didn't
from
happen
above
that time.
to penetrate the inversion energy.
Who knows, man? Who knows? Alright, well, I think we're all set now with daily related stuff. So now that probably means we shift gears more so to just leveling up Kyle to 40, which again could be 400% dungeons, could be more Sigma Sector stuff, and could maybe make the case that Sigma Sector is actually preferable for that, especially because I think I have a fair bit of these guys. Not at the cap, which is 600, but fairly close to it. Is the one from the Tormentor, which, as I said, was doing a lot of that. I do like, just speaking of the the resource you get from specifically Tormentor, which you use to get the cosmetics based on the Tormentor. But speaking of cosmetics, I like the base armor for Kyle. I think it's good. And even the color scheme, I like that too. Now that obviously you could change that just for the sake of making him a little more unique, but he looks good. Some might say he's the most attractive character, if you know what I mean. Also, the most repulsive. If you don't get it by now, I'm sorry. Okay, I think maybe we do go more Sigma Sector so that we can do a little more of the arcade tuning. Did we get more? Oh, we did. Oh, right. I didn't level anything up from the second go-round. So we could get some skill power from that, if we really wanted to, or if we were concerned about being tankier, or not being tanky enough, then we could get more of that. But as I said, I think we're doing okay. Take your pick, whichever side you prefer. Was also going to check the catalysts on Albion cavalry gun, right? I think it is fully catalyzed as to whether these are the perfect combination of modules we'd like to use. That I'm less certain of. I feel like it's more so a question of researching out. Is there something we would prefer to do? And if so, then we're sitting on a proficiency 40 Albion cavalry guns. We can change one module whenever we'd like. Are you down? You are.
Descendant, we're detecting arcane life signs inside a Vulgis structure.
We're detecting arcane life signs. Please destroy them immediately. It would probably make a lot more sense if, instead of doing damage to the things we're trying to rescue, instead we had to do like a capture the flag sort of thing, where you stand near it and protect it from enemies. Because as it currently stands, it does just kind of seem like we're, murdering the people that we're supposed to be protecting. Something about that just doesn't seem to add up to me. Maybe it's just me. Also, is it just me, or was Neckbet just sliding all over the place there? I would say moonwalking, except he was technically doing it while facing forward, so I guess that's not quite a moonwalk. As much as it's just a slip and slide. Oh, man, this at all. I have not charged up our stuff at all. How does this work when it comes to generating our magnetic force? Oh, okay. I am seeing it go down slightly. Does it have it might have a very small cost over time, but then it can get some back if you block hits. I think it does go up in that case. Okay, now if you just decide where you want to be, please do that so that I can then do this. I don't want to whip. I would have to wait a very long time before I could do it again. I don't know, do I want to revive I Destroy Heroes? Maybe...
Mission complete.
maybe
Requesting transport.
Immortality Oblivions is the hero, and we were the villains all along. Okay, that got us to 31. And that means we have a couple more points. I don't really know cost, range. Do we want that? I think Kyle will eventually be very much a skill-based character. I mean, we saw the damage multipliers he can get. It's just that we don't have the modules yet, or the module capacity, really, to build around that. Not until we do opt to invest those catalysts in him and an energy activator. But right now, in the absence of that, weapon damage is fine. But I guess from an arcade tuning standpoint, I mean, I suppose the nice thing about arcade tuning is you can change it more or less whenever you want, and it doesn't cost anything. So if we really wanted to, we could throw some arcade tuning points into weapon damage and just have that be a temporary thing. As soon as we do actually set up Kyle as more of the end game character we ultimately intend for him to be, then that's when we'll swap the arcade tuning around to be more skill damage oriented. But at this stage, I don't think it makes any difference. The nice thing is, as we were mentioning with Jaber last week, assuming that there is an ultimate Kyle a little ways down the line, theoretically, we think that the arcade tuning experience we generate here and now on base Kyle will still transfer over to ultimate Kyle. I mean, that is the case with existing normal versus corresponding ultimate characters. It's just that it's more a question of whether the arcade tuning XP is going to persist in between seasons, which I certainly hope it does. Given how many characters there are, I would really rather not have to go through the trouble of grinding everyone back up to 40 again, or 40 or 30? Whatever the arcade tuning max number is. Bully him.
Shaping charge drop complete. Begin the void energy purification operation.
I think even that skill had a pretty decent number for the damage.
Then activate the remote detonation device.
Oh, and our reactor is not upgraded at all yet, and might not even be the reactor we want to use long-term on Kyle, so that's certainly another thing that would affect our skill damage as well. Feels like a time for me to do this. I did almost immediately set it off. Then the enemies died. I'm not sure if we did that or one of our teammates did that in terms of actually, you know, doing the damage to take them out. Couldn't see what our other teammates were doing at the time.
Elias, deploying RK. I am the original.
Let's just make sure we maintain our magnetic force. And as soon as she comes back, that's when you break this out. Did we just belly flop at the end of that? Also, one of our teammates absolutely did just die. We definitely could have revived them. I feel like they must have manually chosen to surrender. I mean, if you like, it's not like we're at any risk of failing the mission from players dying, so I guess it doesn't matter too much. Uh-oh. What's up? Well, I guess that one, since it does definitely drain power over time, if you are using it offensively, you do want to manually detonate it almost immediately. You're losing power. Wait. So it's kind of a... If offense, detonate immediately. If defense, set it and just leave it there for the passive defensive bonus. Okay, I mean, that gets us all the way up to 36 already, so we're practically at 40 now. We could swap over to the other Sigma Sector location, or if we really wanted to do a 400% dungeon or two just for the sake of mixing it up, we could also do that. Oh, we're also getting the Mastery Rank XP, which is so easy to forget about. Maybe we head back, since we've done this one a little bit. There was something a little bit new this time. If I had to guess, I think we'd get close, but wouldn't quite get a mastery rank up today. The amount of XP you get might be higher at the latter levels of the character. So we might get somewhat big burst once we hit 40s, but don't think it would be enough. But next character would probably do it. Might take a few weapons, since I don't think those give quite as much, but let's see. What are the 400% we can do today? I kind of like the Haven. When that's an option, oftentimes I go for it. Not huge. Wait, which one is this? Okay. I need to remember this. I tend not to take this one very often, although I think it might be good for XP. I think it's kind of a longer one. Sure, we'll do this one. And technically these do give arcade tuning XP as well. It's not as much as the Sigma Sector. It's a fraction of that, but for general use, general purposes, the 400%, I mean, they do a little bit of everything. They do a lot of some things, like get weapon materials, so it's rarely the wrong choice to go 400%. It's just if you have a specific thing you're trying to do, then sometimes there might be a different type of mission that's a little bit better. Especially if you're gonna repeatedly do that mission over and over for farming something. But especially since we're just probably only gonna need maybe just one, but at most two of these to hit 40. Shouldn't make that much of a difference. This is still Ancient Knight. Oh, right. It's the one that has this place down here. I mean, we have to. We have to. There we go. That's what I've been looking for. Okay. I love that. That was pretty sweet. Oh, they froze me. Okay. I was like, did I do something? Is that me? Oh yeah, also our reactor, I'm fairly certain, is not matching our weapon type either, so all these reasons why, skills-wise, we are not getting anywhere near the amount of skill damage we would ultimately end up getting once we are truly optimizing for Kyle. We're taking several shortcuts when it comes to his setup right now, since we're acting on the assumption that we're probably just gonna play him to level 40 and then swap to a different character after that. But he is fun. And your eyes are not deceiving you. I am also experiencing this. There are some... It's not really frame drops as much as probably more so just lag. Just making us glitch around ever so slightly every once in a while. The worst place to do our pull right there. Except that now many of the enemies are dead. Yeah, it just feels even more fun to do the 4 when you have a big vertical area. You can slam down from especially far away. As I've said in other games that have ground pound or slam-like skills, the further you slam, the better it feels, and it feels like it should do more damage that way as well. Here, somewhere. Huzzah. Ideally hitting an enemy with it, but it's technically not necessary. Try this out a little bit more. Especially if you're trying to hit... Oh, we did block it. Nice. Oh, our 4 isn't back off cooldown yet. I just assumed that it was. What a fool. Fool I was. To assume such a thing. Still needs a little bit. The enemies might both be dead. These bosses, by the time it comes back. Come on. Just a little bit longer. A little bit longer. No. No. Now we get it back. Alright, well that did get us to 40. There you go. It only required one more. The 400% dungeons. And... as anticipated, close, but not quite close enough to hit Mastery Rank 29. Now, there are some other ways to get Mastery... Well, it's mostly first time you level up a character and first time you proficiency up a new weapon. So we're all set with both of those things on all of our existing characters and weapons. But you can also get a little bit from doing hard mode missions for the first time, and I've not made a point of going through mission by mission and making sure that I've gotten that one-time little bonus there, but might be close enough that that would be possible to rank up if I did a whole bunch of hard mode missions that we had yet to do. So maybe at some point I'll circle back and try to make that happen, but I don't think that's something we'll look to do today. Because that might take a fair bit of, don't want to say tedium, but maybe a little bit of tedium going through and trying to see, which I don't even know if you can see anywhere if you have already done a mission on hard mode or not. So it might just turn into going mission by mission and playing and finishing every single mission in hard mode. Probably zooming through on a really overpowered fast character and just checking them off as quickly as possible, and half of them may very well be ones that we've already done before, and so we get little to nothing from them, but eventually, over the long term, you end up getting the stuff that you're looking for the Mastery Rank XP, and maybe it's enough to actually Mastery Rank you up. But instead, for today at least, I think it might be a little bit better if we were to do either little bit of Tormentor, maybe I'll just show you what it's like to do Tormentor as a solo with Serena using the modifications that I've made to both Ancient Knight and our Serena build. Since that's the thing that I've been spending the most time on this past week, at least. We could go into, we could do more Sigma Sector with any character that still needs the Arcade Tuning XP, and that could be worthwhile. Maybe not Kyle, he's probably not the highest priority. Although, honestly, as I said, he's been fun, and he's been doing fine, at least from being a weapons platform, being a tank. Even if the skills damage is not where we'd like it to be long-term. Or, the other thing we can do is we could see what luck we would have either with a solo or... Oh, I wasn't going to say hard mode. Probably normal purge on rank 30, since as I was saying, I farmed up a lot of the core binding, or core binders, so we can now use cores on any of the existing weapons, and that means farming Tormentor is no longer all that meaningful, outside of getting the resources for the cosmetics, which, as I was saying, we're now at 600 for that, which is the cap, so that's not all that meaningful. This is the other resource you use for the core binders, but there are a few other core-related things you can use this for, although I don't think it's as difficult to load up on those things, so I think our main use for this and the core binders, we're basically done with that. I mean, we could obviously proactively pick up a few more so that once new weapons get released, we can use them on that as well, but I think we'll be fine there. It's not urgent. So, the cores themselves are probably much more so something that we would like to accumulate at this stage. So, why don't we switch over to Serena? And I guess I'll give you a quick look at the minor changes that I've made, but some changes nonetheless. Think overwhelming HP is new, which converts shield into HP, because remember, HP is damage on Serena. So this isn't a dramatic game-changing amount of HP, and therefore not a dramatic game-changing amount of damage, but it is something. So threw that on. Then, because we have that, I switched around the arcade tuning a bit to pick up at least the max shield here, and I forget... Oh, I think we went in to get every single bit of HP initially. But obviously that's no longer the case now, because I went over to get more offensive, or well, more non-HP related offensive stuff, most notably multi-hit stuff, and getting this multi-hit chance ultimate node over here, because that is the main thing that I added to Ancient Knight. We might have had some of that going on previously. I think we last week had just fairly generic stuff for Ancient Knight, but basically, instead of going crit with it, we have things like multi-bullet, which is multi-hit damage oriented, as is multi-percussion sight. I thought there was one more. Is it this? I mean, that's anti-crit, so it's similar from that standpoint. Oh, here. Multi-piercing sights is also about multi-hit damage. So that's the key thing we're building around on this weapon. And with Serena using that slight different setup, both from a module standpoint and from an arcade tuning standpoint, we gained a lot of multi-hit damage here. And multi-hit chance? Yeah, multi-hit chance as well. We did sacrifice some HP, but we kind of made up for it by converting shields into HP. I don't remember whether on net we're slightly ahead of where we were previously on HP, or if we're slightly behind. I think it's pretty close. If we had absolutely everything lined up for HP, including the shield conversion, I think it actually is possible to hit 37,000. But, you know, sacrifice a little less than 1,000 HP and you get a whole bunch of multi-hit stuff, which, as you are about to see, is quite useful. Now, I've done a whole lot of these, and the speed and smoothness of these kills has certainly varied at times, but when I get it right, it is very quick and it is very smooth. But as is often the case with Serena, you have that window of time in which you have huge damage from your weapons when you activate your 4. And then once that expires, once that duration goes away, then your damage drops off big time. So basically, if we can kill him while our 4 is still active, it's very quick, it's very smooth. If he survives with any life, there, but if he survives at all, if he does this, he usually survives through our 4. So this one's going to be a slow and a little more painful one. Now our 4 has expired, our damage drops off. So either you can try to get the job done like this, and we might have just enough damage to do it, but there you see, now he drops down. Okay, now he's killed. So, took us all. It wasn't instantaneous, that kill. It would be a little bit faster if we had gotten him to collapse down to the ground rather than using his big skill that summons all the electrical stuff up there. So that's how you make it really fast. And it's a little bit luck-oriented. I'm not entirely sure. Well, it just seems like sometimes he just decides to almost immediately go into that skill. And other times he, for whatever reason, does something else instead. And so that's usually the deciding factor. But obviously, dealing damage is the thing that makes him go into that phase. Makes him crouch down, collapse to the ground. So we have enough damage to do that. It's just a matter of how quickly does he summon out his special skill. Like here, he does that instead, so this should be much faster this time. Now, we will not have time to do his summoning skill, so that's faster. Not the fastest I've ever done, at least I doubt. I would say if that were the case, but that's along the lines of how fast we'd like it to be, at least. So, did a whole bunch of grinding like that. And obviously, if you just continuously do this as a solo, you don't have to wait for a queue. The fight itself is fairly quick, so it doesn't take long to get a sizable amount of these guys or these guys as the two main things you're looking for there. You get some gold, you get some Kuiper and some modules as well. But those two resources are the main things you're looking for here. So we'll circle back, as I said. Mostly just wanted to show you what it's like with our newly reworked Serena build. Tweaked, really. It's not that different. But more so, the cores are the things that we really need at this stage, because I did a tiny bit. I don't even really want to call it farming for the cores. I did like maybe 3 or 4 of the level 30 missions. So, got a little bit from that. Oh, I actually did, and obviously I used some of those things, both the core binders and the cores themselves that I picked up. As for what our Ancient Knight looks like now, I showed you the modules, but did I get any... I think that lower fire rate, I might have improved that. The fire attack, I might have improved that as well. Oh, at the moment, Ancient Knight, it is doing fire damage, which is not ideal for at least the type of content that we tend to be doing, but kind of feel like it's probably not that long until we get a new Void intercept battle, and I'm pretty sure the next one is going to be chill, and therefore weak to fire, so, you know, you might as well just wait and have Ancient Knight ready to go for that, rather than changing all that stuff to toxic for this boss right now, when you don't really even need that, and then boss changes, and suddenly you wish you had it fire all along. So, might have made slight improvements there on the core side of things. On this side, core-wise, I think we did get the 19% fire rate last week. I might have, again, made some very minor incremental improvements there. Did throw a core binder on Secret Garden. Threw a little bit of cores there, but not dramatic at this stage. I think Greg's Reverse Fate. Yeah, I got core binder on that and at least one really good fire rate core as well. Wasn't entirely sure what to use for the free spot there, but if that's also to become fire rate, then this could become crazy fast fire rate, which is kind of funny because the animations from the bombardments it creates get a little out of hand at that rate, but in a fun way. So why don't we see if we can get a lobby, a public lobby, I guess, for the level 30 purge, and we could do it with Serena. That's an option with more or less the same build. Similarly, like I was just saying, Ancient Knight is spec'd for fire damage, which is not the element you want for the Void Purge level 30 either. So it's not perfect from that standpoint. We could instead swap over and go the skill route with Viessa, which we haven't used her today. We haven't done much of the skill variety today at all. So maybe we'll do that instead. That is what we've done in the past, at least on stream, for the times when we have done level 30 Void Purge. Just for variety's sake, today at least, maybe we'll go that route. Since otherwise, yeah, we go Serena, more or less the same concept as what we were seeing in that Tormentor fight, except obviously it's a lot more enemies in this mission, and so you can have your 4 active for one cluster of enemies, but then it's not going to be active for a little while. You're going to have to probably fight several, at least one pack without it active, which is a little painful.
We will not fail.
It's been a little while. Hold on. Remind myself what our deal is with Viessa. The other thing is that, honestly, I was doing so much of the Tormentor farming with Serena that my hand started getting really sore. I was like, you know what? I should probably slow down a bit on this. So now we go to Viessa, who, as we've said a while back, is a character who is fun from the standpoint of using all of her skills quite regularly. However, when your hand hurts a lot from playing too much First Descendant, having a character for whom you have to press a lot of buttons is, in hindsight, maybe not the best choice right now. Yeah, we could do level 30 Void Purge with her, and then we could potentially swap over to Serena after this, do a level 30 Void Purge with her. It does seem like our current group is flying, doing quite well, so of course it is a little bit tempting if you happen to have a team that's working well to stick with that team. Would need to head back to town and probably lose this team if we were to swap back to Serena instead. But then we get to see both of them, at least, in this mission, which, I don't know, maybe that's of interest. The way that guy went down when he died, it's kind of interesting. Just very slowly sat down. Just looked like he got back from a very long journey and just needed to rest. Hello, Greg. What are we team-wise, we have one other Viessa, one Serena, one Inez. A little bit unusual for at least this mission. This level, since chill is the preferred element. We have a power character. Usually it's the Viessas. Show up most often. That's obviously why we're using her. There we go. Quite quick. Not bad. Oh, lots of level 9 green ones. Those are good, because that's the one that gives fire rate. So that's possibly the highest priority. Okay, and all of our team has already left, so maybe all the more reason for us to swap back over to town and back to Serena as well. I don't really think we have anyone else we would use for this mission. We could potentially use, what, like a Haley with the Albion cavalry gun? Because, again, chill is the preferred element, and Albion cavalry gun, we do have that one set up for chill damage, so we could use that with her. We could use Glay for that same reason as well. I don't know that Glay is the best on that specific weapon. Well, I don't know. Insert character here with Albion cavalry gun could potentially work on this mission as well, but maybe at least for this one, we'll go Serena, we'll keep it Ancient Knight, so it'll be basically the same setup we were using previously for the Tormentor, just this time slightly different circumstance. Rather than one big enemy, a fair number of medium-powered enemies. As I was saying, I feel like it's a little bit awkward with her 4, since you're not going to be able to get permanent uptime on that, so you kind of need to pick and choose when and where to apply it, and sometimes you time it well, sometimes you're like, you know, there were only 1 or 2 enemies left, and that really wasn't the best. Kind of wasted that one. Let's see, well, we have a lot of Serenas here, and 1 base clan.
Will not be interrupted.
It's like they immediately go into it. Gotta at least wait until we round this corner, if not. But after that, I did not mean to dash straight into that. Like, I feel as though here, when you have a bigger room, it's a better time to use it. So these tend to take longer, tend to be more waves of enemies in these rooms. It seems like you can get more value out of the 4. Then inevitably, of course, you know, well, it's still active? I don't think so anymore. Yeah, so now we're back to considerably less damage. I guess in a team full of Serenas, it's kind of nice if everyone, whether coordinated or not, if everyone staggers their 4s. We have at least one person at any given point in time who is doing good damage. This. There it is. Yeah, so again, this is technically not perfectly optimized for this mission. Oh, I thought that guy was already dead. He was not. Ideally, it would be set for chill damage, and it isn't. Not from a module standpoint, and not from a rolls directly on weapon standpoint. You know, that's not really necessary. A room like this seems like it would be a good place to break out the floor. We obviously don't have it yet. But then, okay, like, we could do it now, but we're already halfway through this room. Be like, at this rate, we probably just wait. But, on the other hand, damage is definitely much less without it. But if we were to have activated it, then we would have had some travel time. Wouldn't be getting the full value out of it. It's like now. also helps if you know exactly where all the enemies are. And you don't press the melee button when you're in the air. Just waste time that way. Final room? Yes. Could break it out. There are a lot of elites in this room, but probably prefer to save it for Greg. There we go. Now, of course, the downside of scaling a bunch of fire rate, the upside is obvious. We get more bullets out more quickly. That means more bullets while we have our 4 active. On the other hand, it does mean you blow through your clip much more quickly as well. And that means you either have to deal with the reload or you have to use the dash more frequently to get the auto reload, and sometimes that will need some time to come off cooldown. But another pretty quick, pretty smooth one there. And is it yellow and blue? Oh, and some reds. There were just a straight up rank 10 there. Okay. Do we want to... What was the... We were saying we could potentially swap over to a different character just for the sake of using the Albion cavalry gun if we really wanted to. I don't know. I mean, we could stick with this for this setup for at least one more. I haven't tried using the Albion cavalry gun, I don't think at all yet, in this mission. So, that would be new for me. I don't know if I've tried using Haley, or maybe I've tried using Glay in this mission. One of those would probably be the character we would use with the Albion cavalry gun. This time. Yes, another Serena. Valby. Okay. I mean, you could use Valby on the Albion cavalry gun, I guess. It's been a long time since I last used Valby. Also, where are the enemies? Oh, see, like, that's a great way to waste the fort. Attack one enemy with it. Wait for the next wave to spawn, only to realize that there's a basic enemy hiding in a corner somewhere. Eats up most of the uptime of your 4. Like, okay, well, so much for that one. But, fortunately, it's not as if we need to get every one of those perfect. We're not trying to set any records. And still have enough power collectively as a team here that even if our damage is not always the best time, we can still make things work. I do see our 4 is up, but again, timing-wise, I feel like... I mean, you could always make the case, just activate it as soon as you get it up. That means you're going to get it back off cooldown more quickly. So it does probably mean you get more uses total. It's just, do you also get more completely botched uses? Yeah, probably. How does that math play out? I don't know. I have not tested it enough to see. We'll use it here, though. Over? It must be over now. A little hard to see through all the various effects we have going on. We do get the floor back soon, but again, it's now when we're halfway through this room. which makes me feel like we ought to just save it for final room, which is not that far away. Even if this guy is going to take a little while to go down. There we are. There's still a little bit of stuff in between. Okay. Fair bit more than I realized. This is the room in question. Yes, I did use I also should have kept that after, but this is the room, final room, so Greg is not far away. But enough. These guys in here. It's still not the worst thing to use it. Oh, especially if you're hiding. By the time you're down, pretty close to having the 4 back. Another thing worth considering is the boss about to phase, which was sort of the case there. All these timing related things that could be factors. Oh, that also, at least when things go wrong on Tormentor, sometimes a thing. This is Greg's first fate, right? As I said, did improve the fire rate a fair bit with some cores, so that is why it is firing much faster than it would usually fire. Can get faster still if we throw another fire rate core on there, and we improve those fire rate cores beyond what they currently are. One of them is well rolled, the other I think is just, it exists. Okay. Oh, lots of green. Speaking of fire rate, nice. Okay, so maybe we'll head back. Might even take a peek at some of those cores and see if we can get any upgrades. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's green for the fire rate is usually one of the top priorities, if not the top priority. Yellow is probably priority number 2. Oh, I accidentally turned off the sprint.
You already look fine.
Okay, so let's see.
I'm gonna make you look finer.
So these are the ones for just weapon damage and crit stuff, which is not bad. This is usually, as I said, top priority, and then you maybe hold off on these. I mean, mostly just costs gold, so should be fine. It's a whole bunch here, though. If you have that many, the cost does start to get somewhat significant. Just ignore these altogether, even if there are a ton, because those are very bad. Okay, but now if we equip the core. So as I said, did add some core bindings to some weapons and threw a little bit of stuff on some things that we had not previously done that to before. Like Last Dagger was one of the weapons that I know people have said, at least once it does get really well rolled on the core side, it can become extremely powerful, and starting to get a better feel for why that is. Because, of course, each weapon comes with specific categories of cores you're allowed to use, and that doesn't change. So, like here, for example, with Enduring Legacy, you have 2 yellows, and that is what movement speed is the... and grapple hook stuff, I think, is what you tend to get on the yellow. So, mobility-related things useful for weapons you throw on as a quote-unquote stat stick for characters who are more power-oriented, like, you know, a Bunny and Inez, whereas... But that's a little bit strange for Enduring Legacy. That's not a good match, because Enduring Legacy you typically want to be about the direct damage. Whereas take something like Last Dagger, which has 2 green cores, which means you can double up on fire rate, and then the orange one, which allows you to get firearm damage. That's also really good for just straightforward damage. And then you have the free slot, which could be more fire rate, I'm assuming, since apparently fire rate scales the exponentially. The more of it you get, the more powerful each incremental percentage of fire rate is. So I would assume that means that that free spot also turns into fire rate in the ideal circumstance, and that's maybe, that alone is enough to carry Last Dagger into relevancy. So that makes sense now, why it made sort of a dramatic surge in popularity when there was a long time when it was just horrible. And then, take Secret Garden as an example of a weapon that you would like to see the yellow stuff on, so you get the movement speed, since that is usually a weapon that you would have for the game crashing. No, for you would usually use Secret Garden to buff power damage. So why not just run around and throw powers out and hopefully have the game allow you to restart it. Come on, First Descendant. It's not even like we were doing anything. We were just in town. I mean, I guess there are a lot of people in town, so maybe that makes the game more likely to crash there. But we can, yeah, I mean, now that we've gotten a whole bunch of the core bindings, so we can add cores to all of the weapons if we would like, it then becomes a question of, okay, do you spread out your cores amongst all the weapons and just try to get at least something on all the weapons so that they're better than they would otherwise be, or do you throw as many cores as possible into the 1 or 2 weapons that you really like, try to get the core rolls to be as high as possible, and prioritize quality over quantity? That is now the question, because, I mean, obviously if you have a whole bunch of cores, then why not both? True, but we have a ways to go before we have enough cores to do that. And I've been kind of on the fence when it comes to further investing in Ancient Knight, as I was saying before. I threw a lot of stuff into it from a catalyst standpoint and a fair bit of cores as well, and got the weapon and, by extension, Serena strong enough so that we could pretty consistently farm the Tormentor boss, except maybe I'm reading into this too much, or maybe I'm just making a huge assumption, but I got the feeling that Tormentor is going to be replaced by a new boss in the relatively near future, so I didn't want to plan around that specific boss all that much. And then there was also that talk of the developers being not thrilled about how strong Serena is. So since Ancient Knight is more or less a Serena-specific weapon that you're never going to use on anyone else, or would very rarely have reason to, have some hesitancy to invest a whole bunch into Ancient Knight as our primary weapon if that and or Serena are going to get nerfed fairly soon. So that's all speculative, yes, but if we're trying to pick and choose where to use our cores, then it just seems like, that could be a factor worth considering. Otherwise, like, Reg's Reverse Fate. Yeah, we have a really good fire rate roll here. This one it is fire rate, that's saying something, but the roll itself is not that high. So, Last Dagger. Oh, maybe we try. Fire rating it up with Last Dagger, because theoretically I think this can become one of, if not the strongest weapon, if you go crazy on the fire rate. Let's just see. I was hoping we'd have a little more than this in terms of big green cores. I think rounds per magazine is, for many weapons, the next best thing on the green slot, but we probably would still like to roll over that with more fire rate if we can. Keep the magazine size. Keep the magazine size. definitely keep the magazine size. And this is where, you see, yeah, having a bunch of cores is nice, because sometimes you just never get the type of stat you're looking for, let alone a high roll on that stat. There we go. Okay, 15% better than the fire rate we had on this one. So then we could try throwing another fire rate on here. I assume that's probably what you want here, although I don't know that definitively. I'm just guessing based on how fire rate is generally very good, and if it gets stronger, the more of it you have, then an opportunity to go triple down on it seems like that would be a great opportunity. We don't get it. That's not great. But what was the... I think we got a decent number of yellows, which... Yeah, I do like the sprint speed on Secret Garden, since that helps with the likes of Freyna and Inez, just having more movement speed there. And the grappling hook recharge, I think, is in some cases considered the second best there. Again, just for the sake of mobility, but probably would prefer sprint speed. And then here with the free slot, do you go with a third yellow here for even more potential sprint speed? Whoa! Okay, we did get a lot of yellows. That's very nice. Maybe we do try getting a little bit greedy there. I mean, I do like how that was very high roll on the grappling hook recharge. So, you know what? Sure, we'll start here, actually. I mean, okay. Definitely not what I was hoping for. Recoil is a non-issue on this weapon as well. Sprint speed, it's 11%, which is not great. We have plenty more. I also don't know what the max sprint speed is. Apparently there is a cap, and it is possible to reach it using these cores, but just thinking back to things like the, Bunny, sprint speed skills, and who else? Fiesta. They're definitely higher than that. Yeah, Big Country, if you'd like to hop in, you're welcome to. It's just, I have done dailies, and I've done a little bit of core farming, and now just circling back to see what we can do with those cores. I am in Discord, so you're welcome to jump in if you'd like. Got a whole bunch of yellow cores, so looking into throwing sprint speed on various weapons. Oh, and got a bunch of core bindings this past week, so now don't need to hold back at all when it comes to using the core binders on weapons. It's more so getting the cores to capitalize on those core binders.
Yeah, like, I farmed all the core binders, and the cores are taking way longer.
Yeah. And it's also just more up to random chance, right? Like, you could get really lucky on the weapon you are prioritizing most, get a bunch of really good rolls on. It's like, okay, awesome. That one was quick. And then some other weapon, you just get incredibly unlucky, and you just never can get it to work, and it takes so many cores to get where you want that gun to go. Whereas with the core binders, it's a pretty much set thing where there's a pretty regular pace at which you get the crafting resources for it.
Did you do the new weeklies?
Let me double check. What are
Mind
the new
you,
week-
apparently last...
Oh, I
last
haven't.
week-
I forgot about these.
Apparently last week, the dailies, the weeklies, you could do them every day.
I did notice that. And it made it...
I haven't been able to play since last Friday.
Oh,
so.
okay. It was basically just, it allowed you to get a bunch of the resources for the dimension analyzers.
Yeah, upgrading the reactors.
Yeah, exactly.
And those are easy enough to farm.
Yeah,
I'm not
I mean,
really troubled.
it's nice to have, but probably not something you are in desperate need of loading up on more.
Yeah. God, the last couple days have been so windy.
Oh, wow.
Like
Sorry, I'm
today,
also
we were having...
scraping the microphone slightly with my headphones every once and again.
we had gusts of 60 kilometers. Don't know what that's in
Attempts to...
miles.
Yeah, wait, hold on. One moment while that's what? 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers. So that's like 40 miles an hour, I think. Okay, yeah, that's
Something like
fast.
that, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like 40 kilometers for just constant. So
Yeah, yeah,
my internet was not so good.
yeah.
You can invite me anytime you want.
You are in now.
Yeah. I've been running around on Bunny.
Oh, the other thing actually that I forgot to mention is that we did. I did a little bit of stuff with Kyle earlier.
Yeah, I saw the. I couldn't watch because I said my internet was terrible. So, but I saw the. What's it called? I guess I should switch to Serena.
Oh, totally up to you.
You already
Well,
look
I'm not going
fine.
into the what's
I'm
it
gonna
called
make you
with
look
Bunny.
finer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's fair. That's
Especially level
fair.
30 Bunny. Oh, and they've started showing hints that they're going to go away from the do the ultimates in order.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So Jaber's not going to be next.
Oh, okay.
It
Huh.
looks like
Do
it's
we have
going to be
any sense
Luna.
of if there is any sort of
It looks like it's going to be Luna.
Luna? Okay.
Yes.
Hmm. Interesting.
And apparently they'll show off the new hero at PAX this weekend.
Oh, this weekend. Okay. So potentially quite a bit more information soon.
Yes.
Okay. What was I was potentially going to add more sprint speed to Secret Garden.
Yeah, I usually do 2 sprint speeds and 1 grapple.
Okay. That's what I have at the moment. Just maybe able to get the rolls a little bit higher.
Yeah, the grapple you can just keep. Honestly, anything above purple is good for grapple. And you can have
Ooh. Purple
Not
grapple
constant,
versus blue sprint speed.
you'd
Yeah.
want the blue sprint speed simply because you already have the grapple.
Yeah. Only one grapple is enough.
Yeah. Especially if it's gold.
True.
Jeez, you have a lot of yellow.
Yeah, for some I don't know why, but yellow just got way more than everything else. But that's okay.
Well, yellow and green are the only ones that I still farming. Everything else I've got, tons of.
Well, it's not really cooperating at the moment. %, sprint speed or 11% sprint speed? That's a hard one.
I kind of wish they'd have, like, once you get a roll, you can't get under that.
Yeah.
I'm
this is
fine
kinda
with the
painful.
farm, but something to, make it feel like you're making progress.
Yeah, like I've thrown 10 plus into this and not seen anything better. And I don't even have a good sprint speed roll. It might be the minimum. And yet, still haven't gotten anything. There we
I
go.
think 10 is the minimum.
Okay, well, I just got an 18. So that's considerably
That's
better.
good.
Alright.
Yes. Admittedly, sprint speed is actually a lot like fire rate.
The more you get, the better it becomes.
Yeah. Kind of annoying, but
Alright, well,
but
yeah,
you'll notice it anyway, so it'll make you, somewhat keep up.
I am up for doing some more core farming, or if you want to do the weekly stuff, which looks like it's all based on special operations, we could do that too.
Yeah, but it's like gold and Kuiper.
True. Yeah, that is true.
We could do it if you want, though.
Maybe just to mix it up a little bit, since I was just doing a few of the core farming missions.
In that case, I'll probably switch characters.
Don't have to do all of them right now, but seems like, wait, Albion resource defense, Kuiper mine. Okay, so you do have to at least do those two. Complete the final wave of any variety, so you can at least double dip there. And then final wave 3 times on that one. Doesn't have to be hard mode, but might as well do it on hard mode. Okay. Well, maybe.
Actually, I do want to keep what I have on. So I want to get more attributes, different types of attributes on the weapons I have on.
I might do Freyna and resource defense, and that way... Well, I was going to say, she uses Secret Garden, so I can benefit from that sprint speed that I just added. On the other hand...
You don't really move.
Right. Throw a couple of those skills out, and then you kind of just stand there and twiddle your thumbs, so... Not actually sure that's going to make that much... Oh, well, I could switch to Inez. Or Kuiper Mine. I mean, yeah. Do that Kuiper Mine, and then you're basically... There's a little more movement in that. Are those the two? Yeah, those are the two that are hard mode. Okay. Do you have a preference between those two? Resource defense versus the Kuiper Mine blockade?
No. No.
Let's see. This is the... Which area is this in? White Knight Gulch. I don't remember if I've done the hard mode White Knight Gulch Kuiper Mine. Is it in a different location than the normal version was?
Don't think I've ever done that either.
Maybe we do that one then. Do you want to go just the two of us or public?
We can go. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, our freezer out in the garage also gave out. I shouldn't say gave out. Something was wrong. Something, maybe the door wouldn't fully close or something like that, and it just wouldn't freeze completely. So, had to go clear through it.
They're pretty quick.
Reload.
Not lightning fast, but pretty quick.
Where is it?
Great question.
Descendant, I've called you because I need your help. These bastards are using a suspicious-looking digger.
I mean, the knock I've always... The one knock on Freyna, if you can even say that I've often said, is that she does not have anything to increase her speed. But if you have speed on Secret Garden, then...
What the hell are they doing that requires so much security? Judging by that
not much that she can't
digger,
do.
they're definitely up to something.
Jump height?
The warning system broken? It's gone off again. Nope. Just another tough enemy to deal with. Descendant, do your thing.
I like how...
Was that a tough enemy?
The tough enemy is dead before she finishes the line about it.
I have to check it out myself.
Oh, right on top.
To do that, I'll need you to lay waste to the Vulgis.
Okay, I'm going to a different spot so I can actually shoot someone.
I'm sure
That
you
is
got
fair.
this, right?
Yeah, Valby and I are just turning this area into a swamp. This will be the Echo Swamp by the time we're done with it. Ammo is not consumed. Oh boy!
Oh, hell. I can hear alarms.
I'm gonna
I have
go
a bad
to
feeling
B.
about this. That's
I think
the
2 others are going to A.
hazardous object proximity alert, isn't it?
I assume, yeah, everyone's 40, so I assume it doesn't matter if we all spread out.
I think we're still close enough. Oh, it's close.
Damn it.
Close Some of them have
Descendant.
power shields.
Detected
Gross.
another high-level Vulgis. There's just
Oh, that is the
no
boss.
end
Okay.
to them. Please take care of this.
Oh, never mind. She's dead.
Yeah, it was very quick.
I was like, oh, maybe I'll break out the 4. Nope, never mind.
There's something weird about the energy flow within the Vulgis facility. Oh, and it looks like we have to deal with even more defensive forces.
This is great.
I have hardly defeated anyone, and I just got a thing for defeating enemies in White Knight Gulch.
These bastards. Damn it.
What weapon are you using?
It was just enemies in White Knight Gulch.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, like maybe you have a weapon that has some area of effect or something else.
Yeah,
that's...
maybe. I'm using the malevolent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that has area of effect functionally.
Yeah.
That could be taking out more enemies than it would seem.
The warning system broken? It's gone off again.
Oh no, it's gone off again.
Nope.
Oh,
Just
okay. Now
another
that time
tough enemy to
legitimately,
deal with.
I didn't see where the enemy was.
Descendant, do your thing.
Oh, not quick enough. She was done with her voice line. Got to step up her game.
Did she start her voice line?
Oh, she did for me.
We need to
Did
make
she
sure it's
not
safe
for
enough
you?
the construction corps
No.
members to move around before
Or
we can
maybe
check
it
out
was
the
fast enough then. I'm going for A. I imagine most people will since it's the closest.
Yeah, I'll go to B so I can shoot people.
Here we go.
Alone.
Ah, there are Vulgis
Okay,
everywhere.
I'm still at
It's like
A.
we've stirred up a hornet's nest.
Everyone's going to A except for me, so I'll get to shoot people.
Oh, the shields. Anything but the power shields.
Damn it. Descendant. We've detected
Oh, there's two
another
enemies.
high-level Vulgis. There's just
On our
no
way.
end to them. Please take care
Oh
of this.
no, it's no problem. Just need to find them. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah. Oh, well. In the split second before that guy died, he did create a shield right in front of me. One of those little walls.
There's something weird about the energy flow within the Vulgis facility. Oh, and it
Drop
looks like we
in
have to deal with even more
some of those skills.
I'll go to
and then
B.
On my way. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go to C.
Watch your feet.
Inez is here too, so I'm not really doing anything. It really doesn't help that the frames are dropping too.
Hmm.
I wonder how much of that is
Here they come again. I think they get tired
the
of it
wind
at
that's
some
still
point.
here.
The Vulgis commanding them must be somewhere nearby.
Oh, speaking of which, it is getting a little framey for me too.
And how much of it is just Inez and Freyna?
Yeah, that might have something to do with it, and the number of enemies in this mission.
Yeah.
Oh, he's immune.
Loading.
Even
Well,
his
the good thing
shield.
about being immune while using the malevolent. I got to clear that entire place by myself. Woo!
Oh, nice.
There's one for you.
The warning system broken? It's gone off again. Ah, nope. Just another tough enemy to deal with. Descendant, do your
Oops,
thing.
Deactivated that. I did not mean to do that. Where do you go?
I'm out of ammo.
Okay.
Boss is out of
Leave the
life.
rest of me and go get some rest.
Just as soon as I got ammo.
Great job.
Alright. Well, there we go. That should have been at
How
least
much gold
one.
did I get? 1,648,000 gold.
Nice. And honestly, with a team like the one we had, didn't take that long either.
No.
I mean, if you'd like to, we could then do the resource defense as well, and then we could check that one off. And then we're almost done with all of the weeklies. And
Up
it
to
used
you.
to be that these took a while, but now it feels like we just zoomed through.
Yeah.
It's the hard mode fortress. I remember the normal one, but I don't remember where the hard mode is. Anyways, yeah, so I'm up for the resource defense if you want to do that too.
Sure.
Wait, do it? No, okay. I do remember where this one is, yeah.
Wasn't this the one that you... I remember using this to farm levels.
Yeah, we did this together a while back.
Oh, this one. I don't know why I thought you were talking about the other one. Yeah, this one definitely. I think that Valby was the one that we were just playing with.
Might be. I mean, they were both... The Valby we were with definitely catalyzed into a level 1 at the end.
Yeah.
So that... I mean, not that that's the only level 1 Valby in existence right now, but...
We've been waiting for you. Our soldiers have suffered extensive casualties while
I don't
holding
remember
off the
what their
enemy
name
onslaught.
was.
These resources
don't either.
were seized from the enemy fortress. They must be transported safely to Albion.
I might just run around grabbing stuff.
Yeah, honestly do that, or... Yeah, why not? I don't know where... Because it used to be that once upon a time, these were the hardest missions in the game, and they were the ones that everyone... Like, during the beta, these were the hardest missions, and everyone did them as the key farming thing. And Bunny was always the go-to, but sometimes you didn't need multiple bunnies, maybe 2, but you could kind of take on different roles on the team, like Bunny being the primary carrier when it comes to damage, but then you could have things like a Kyle actually being a tank and getting some value out of doing tank-related stuff, and things along those lines, which, you know, you just don't see very much of nowadays, where it's just like, well, damage is kind of the only thing that's relevant. If you can immediately delete the enemies, then all other aspects of the game are irrelevant.
Yeah.
Not movement speed. So you can get to the
Yeah,
enemies
getting
and
room to
delete them
room.
immediately.
Apparently, they've actually talked about why they added movement speed on cores and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And that was specifically because Bunny kept getting to a room and wiping everyone out before anyone else could get there.
Uh-huh.
So they wanted to add something so that, you know, everyone could at least get to the room if they farmed quick enough.
Reload.
I had an enemy right beside me I didn't see.
Oh, the last enemy was waving at me. I shot him in the face. Yeah, I mean, I've said this before, but I mean, I get why, from that standpoint, there's something to be said for letting other people keep up with Bunny. On the other hand, Bunny's identity is supposed to be that she's the speedy character, so it does kind of detract from her if she's no longer the clearly the fastest character.
Reload.
But I would argue, if I were a designer, I would say the issue was less so Bunny's speed or relative speed and more so Bunny's damage. Like, it's okay if Bunny's faster than other characters. She probably should be faster than other characters. That's what her whole character is supposed to be designed around. But if she's immediately destroying everything before anyone can get there, okay, maybe other characters should be stronger than Bunny, damage-wise, relatively speaking, so that Bunny doesn't immediately delete everyone before they get there. The huge bubbles always just look so ridiculous to me, but I love it. So silly.
Yeah, it doesn't tow anyone anymore, which kind of sucks, but it is more useful now.
It just looks so ridiculous. Like, oh, okay, welcome to Atlantis. Population, us.
I will show you the ground.
Oh, my malevolent is going to be level 40 soon.
Oh yeah, these are really good for weapon XP. Not really.
Plus, I'm out of ammo anyway, so
Oh,
I might just hide for a little bit.
not really approach it from a weapon XP standpoint as much as just a let's test out the weapon we added some cores on, which is fine.
There, got a core on.
This is your grave.
No, not core.
Yeah, wait, what?
You know what I mean?
Farming cores from these? How'd you do that?
Well, my good boy has been gathering gold for me.
That's true. Yeah, that made a huge difference for these missions. How much gold they drop, and that was another reason to take a character like Bunny. You could just run around and loot more of it before the mission is over, and for some reason, the timer at the end of the mission after you're done with it is much shorter for this than seemingly almost anything else. So, you're more reliant on picking up the equipment, or the drops, while the mission is going. You can't just pick it all up in post, unlike some other missions.
I don't have any ammo.
Don't
Doggo,
worry
give me
about it.
ammo.
Don't worry about it. He's dead.
Second he died, the dog gave me ammo. Oh, there's another enemy.
Oh! I deactivated my core
This is your
thinking that the wave was over.
Wave was over.
Alright.
Yeah, my malevolent is already level 14.
Nice.
And I have like no weapon XP and stuff like that. Probably should have put a weapon XP or something on.
Too many shields.
I can deal with the shield.
Yeah. Thankfully. They're my greatest weakness. We cover for each other's weaknesses. That way, I suppose.
Have you heard of the anime the ghost stories, specifically the dub?
I don't think so. Oh.
Well, it was during the early days of, like dubbing anime and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's fairly old.
Yeah. And,
What was the name again?
Ghost Stories, I think it is.
I don't think so.
Well, the people voicing the characters were absolutely convinced that no one was, they had like no oversight whatsoever. So they kept saying more and more unhinged stuff just to see if anyone would say, "Hey, you're not supposed to say that. That's not what the lines."
Oh, so they...
But no one said anything the entire time.
So they even just deviated from a direct translation just for the sake of messing with people?
It said the most unhinged things ever.
Oh, goodness.
I highly suggest just looking it up. It's hilarious and completely unhinged.
No, I don't think I've heard of it though. Okay, so technically speaking, I think one more special operation. Yeah, getting to the final wave of any other special operation would check off the last of the weeklies. If you're interested in doing one more, but we got 3 out of 4 from doing that stuff.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Well, we did one of each. Maybe we can transition from there, and we could just do another one at some other point during the upcoming week if we'd like.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is this? Oh, this is from the weeklies.
Mind you, it takes about as much time to do the invasions, and we get more gold from those.
Well, the 400% or the invasions? It's like 400% you can only do, or rather invasions you can only do 4 of per day, whereas the special
you can only do
operations
once a week.
True. At least for the daily. Okay. Well, let's see. Would we like to do some core farming then?
I always need more cores.
Alright. Well, I was doing it a little bit with Serena, and then I did one on Viessa. I otherwise was debating... I've not yet tried doing it with the Albion cavalry gun, but I did power that up a bit, so theoretically that could be usable there. What would you say would be the best character with Albion cavalry gun to use in the level 40 purge? Or level 30, rather.
See, I have my specifically build for Haley.
Mm-hmm. That was who I was leaning toward, I think.
Like, it's good on other characters as well, and, probably perform better with other characters as well. But Haley's kind of just built for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I built it with Haley in mind. And then I focused on other guns for other characters.
Okay. Alright. Well, maybe I'll give it a shot with Haley then, since I've done it with 2 other characters thus far today, so just for the sake of testing it out a bit. So then if I go Haley, you want to go Serena?
Yeah.
Okay. So then for this, I did do a few public ones, and they actually went fairly smoothly. They were quite quick, so up to you. We could do it just the 2 of us. We could try doing
What's your
public.
fastest time with multiple people?
I don't know, but it wasn't... I mean, I'm sure we were not setting any sort of records, but it wasn't bad either. No, I don't even know where you check these things.
I
But I'm
don't know. I only
determined
know
to
where
find
it checks. Oh, my record. No, it only keeps your solo one.
Oh, okay.
What's your fastest solo time?
I don't even know if I've done it solo, to be honest with you. Maybe once? Oh, this is what? That's not it. Huh?
Are you looking for where to look? You go
Oh.
into the void purge area, and then you click the view leader, and then you can switch where it shows solo to begin with, and you can switch it to my record.
Oh, yep. Apparently, I have not done it solo then. Alright. Well, yeah, I mean, up to you. If you want to do just the two of us, you want to...
Doesn't matter to me.
Alright, I'll do just the two of us, I guess.
I'm built up enough that, like, I know I'll be able to finish it, even if, you know, I have 3 terrible teammates. It's just a matter of time.
You know, I mean, I haven't done that much core farming in general, because, you know, focused a lot more, at least as of late, on the core binder stuff. Now that I've checked that off, shifting more toward the cores themselves, but in the limited time I've spent doing public lobbies with it, it's been surprisingly, not bad. Oh, I also did not mean to press that button. I meant to press this button.
Was there one enemy left?
Face the flames.
It is a little weird. I think they changed it so that the melee boss, he now throws grenades. Kind of weird.
Who does?
Yeah, the melee boss, or mini boss during these things. He throws grenades.
The, like, elites?
The wolf guy. Yeah, the... Stop me hiding behind a wall, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the exact same grenade the grenaders throw, the beast does too now. I think he throws one and then he charges at you.
Do you usually just keep the 3 active more or less the entire time on Haley?
Yeah, and I use a grapple forward when I need to go room to room.
It is otherwise painfully slow.
I haven't used Haley in these for a while, not since before Serena.
Into the light.
Worth switching over to single target skills. What the sniper rifle variety now that it's just the
No.
boss? No? Where'd he go? One moment, please, Greg. Oh, I picked it very bad. How did I not get staggered from that? What? Am I immune to stagger?
I think you
while
have some
this
stagger
thing?
resistance when you're in the...
I mean, I was right in the middle of his phase.
Yeah, you get some stagger resistance.
I'm about to die.
I am out of...
Ow. Life.
I'll just kill this guy.
Yeah. He's close enough.
There we go. And you're not up.
No, I guess not. Thank you. Ooh, greens. Nice.
I got some yellow 10s. So, that's nice.
Okay.
Admittedly, I'm almost at the point where I don't need yellows. I literally just need greens.
Oh, yep. That's how many more greens you need relative to everything else.
Yeah, like I've yellowed several weapons, and I haven't finished a single weapon for greens.
Hmm. And this is like, you know, truly trying to get max possible roll.
I don't think I have a single gold.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I have one max roll.
Okay. Alright, well, tell you what, I mean, personally, I definitely preferred using either Serena or Fiesta for this, so if you don't mind, I might, like, head back to at least swap around.
Go ahead. Maybe we can switch off, like, one of us takes Fiesta, the other one takes Serena.
Yeah, if you want. Do you have a
Which one do you
preference
want
for
to go
this
first?
one?
Sorry, what did you say?
I was just asking if you had a preference for this one.
No, I was going to say, which one do you want to go first?
Let me see. I think, what was I doing? I mean, might lean, towards Serena, but I mean, we also don't necessarily need to take different characters, do we? And we could double down
No,
on
we
the same
don't,
one.
but I just like to switch up every once in a while. I've mostly just been doing Serena. Nope, I can craft one level 9 core.
Is it even possible for the level 9s to have as high stats as the rank 10s? Like, if you get a high 9, can that exceed
No.
a low 10?
Yes. But I still wouldn't do it simply because you want the rank 10s and you can craft them from the rank 9s.
Yeah. It's only 12%. Okay. As I said, I'm a little hesitant to invest heavily, at least more heavily into this now, but give it a shot. Ooh, okay. It's a little bit of an upgrade. Okay. That works. What do we have on
I
this?
apparently don't have everything set up on this character. Kind of annoying, but...
Ooh. Well, I can confirm that fire rate can go as low as 10%.
Yeah. If you're doing that with, for Haley, you do want one to have rounds per magazine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is something that the reload time is long, and the magazine size is not great, so that did feel a little awkward at times. Great damage when it's firing, but a lot of downtime.
Yeah, you do want 1 rounds per magazine. I have 1 fire rate, 1 rounds per magazine, 2 chill, and 1 critical hit damage.
Think I mean I got one smallish upgrade, so I suppose I'm ready to go.
Yeah, the rounds per magazine is a big bonus and would help if, the best weapons character didn't have a way to just reload or never need to reload.
Right. That's the awkward thing though, is you kind of need to choose. Is this going to be a glay weapon or not? Because
Yeah.
you have to build very differently depending on which way you choose.
Yeah, honestly, Glay, Serena, and every other person have actually Haley, Enzo. They all have different. You know, Haley doesn't need as much crit chance as other characters, especially if she has an Enzo on the team.
Yeah.
Like you literally build the weapon differently if your Haley has an Enzo on the team or not.
Mm-hmm.
And Serena and Glay build differently because while Glay doesn't need ammo whatsoever, Serena still needs ammo. She just doesn't need to recharge stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not recharge. Reload.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that has become more of a factor for me is with Ancient Knight, now that I've put on some more fire rate, it's firing quickly enough that the cooldown on my dodge, my 3, which is the way you reload automatically, sometimes can't keep up if I'm truly just wailing away at the same enemy repeatedly, firing non-stop.
Really? I've never had that trouble. What's your build?
Or, well, is that always the case? Maybe it's... Yeah, I think that is happening to me sometimes.
Have you tried firing Fiesta?
Don't think so. I don't have it in now.
That is a big part of my build because like I load it up and I can like oftentimes completely wipe out the entire what's it called of the boss.
Yeah.
The entire health bar of the boss with 1.
Okay. Yeah, that is nice. Does it consider your auto reload with the 3 as one of your reloads, so it makes it so it doesn't consume anything for 3 seconds? Or do you actually have to do a manual reload for that to activate?
It counts the what's it called?
It does count the dodge?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty tempting then. I think this is rank 40, so I could catalyze that. Yeah, because I think this one was... I think I heard... Can swap this out probably for that firing Fiesta, which, now that I look at it, is quite tempting.
I have 2 things that are different. Well, one, I don't have fire enhancement on, so I guess 3 things.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is just because I happen to have fire damage at the moment. And also, this was one of the default starting glyphs, so I just rolled with it.
No, I'll just put my build on.
Yeah, but that is intriguing.
Another thing, overwhelm is actually really good if you're like, I have it built specifically for the 300 the purge. So I have overwhelm on as well.
Basically, this means if you have the right elements, you get extra weak point damage.
Is it element?
An extra, like, what is advantage affinity?
Oh, it's
Or is that like the
different
crush?
weapons have like different types of damage.
Yeah. Forget what the other ones are.
Let me. I think it's in details.
Pierce, crush. There's one other category.
Burst. Yeah, burst beats pierce. Pierce beats crush. Crush beats burst.
Yeah, I've not once ever put any thought into that on any enemy.
Yeah, well, it's useful for the 300. Or the. Why do I keep saying 300? 400% damage.
Oh.
Not 400 purge. No percentage, just purge.
Okay. Maybe I'm intrigued by firing Fiesta. I might give that a shot.
There, I put my build on.
Okay, give me just a second to level this up.
If all modules were the same, I'd be out of a job, right?
So weird seeing a base version of Ultimate of characters that have ultimates.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that. Well, okay, there's maybe one or two that I would argue that I would prefer the base characters' skins on.
Oh, who are you thinking of?
Probably Albion Bunny.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't like Valby's ultimate skin. Bunnies, I can go back and forth on. I'm not a big fan of her base skin though. So even if I didn't do
I
her
like her
ultimate,
base
I would...
skin. I think it's good. Maybe if you mix the colors on it, but I think there's a lot to work with, especially if you are going to change the color scheme on it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, well, I think I'm good to go whenever you are.
I am too.
All right. So Purge, right? We're talking Purge
Yes.
here.
Purge.
Okay, just making sure. Oh, I pressed the public button. Oops.
Oh well. It'll be my first time doing it in public.
Hopefully, our team will still be fine. As I said, I mean, knock on wood, but in the past, when I've done it public, the team has been more than adequate. Yeah, we have another Viesa and another Serena.
Another, yeah.
I think I'm liking firing Fiesta. Think I'm
Are you
liking
using the Iron Knight right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just use it for the end boss.
Yeah, it's better spec for that. But it's probably still my best weapon for Serena in general, even if it's not optimized perfectly for this mission.
Nope.
I'm just activating 4 immediately. Whenever it's off cooldown. But as I was was talking about earlier, sometimes that means you activate it when there isn't a lot in the room.
One thing that's annoying having all these people is that there's just not enough room. I've been running into everyone.
Oh.
I think I have literally run into everyone.
Oh, he's not dead.
I fired my 4 and then just ran to the next room because I was like, by the time my 4 is done, he'll be dead.
Oh. I was expecting the enemies to have... There we go. Spawned here already. I get used to the rhythm of firing Fiesta where suddenly I don't need to be dashing as frequently. At least not all the time. There we go. No, never mind. No, I didn't want to go up there. I'll take it back. You shall not pass.
I am loose. There we go. Got help. I need more health again. Yeah, I do find in the final boss, I'm running out of mana quite often. I think if I hit my shots, I wouldn't. But, you know, I'm a console player, trying to hit your shots while flying.
Ooh, more greens. Nice.
More purple tents.
Yeah, got the purples or 9s. Wasn't thrilled about that.
I got the green 8s. So I can probably craft like 1 green or something like that. 1 green 10.
Should we do another?
Sure.
But yeah, it seemed like the public party was fine there. Did I just
long
jinx
was
it
it?
for the next one? Maybe. We'll find out. Oh, I was about to say, will it just be the two of us and it won't make any difference? But I mean, a lot of times, as is the case right now, I see both of our teammates have badges next to their name, which suggests they are no noobs.
I don't even know where to find those badges.
I don't either.
I've been trying to find them.
Why did I even... I tried to press the 4 button. It was not off cooldown. And also, all the enemies in the room were dead at that point. So... Not... Oh, and then I pressed on the... Liz! No, not like
I
that.
press it all the time. I press it like as soon as it comes off cooldown.
Yep, but then I pressed it when I was on the ground. Which defeats the whole purpose.
Oh, that... So I don't fly until the very end. I just jump and do it.
Yeah, well, I didn't on that occasion.
Also, do you have multi-talented on your build?
I don't remember.
Because if you use multi-talented, you can have 100% uptime.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
Definitely don't then, because I definitely do not have 100% uptime.
I do have to be careful because your flying ability doesn't activate the cooldown, it activates the power damage, which you don't care about. So, I always have to make sure I activate my 4 to activate the cooldown, and then I go on and do my other stuff.
Oh, just the sequencing of it is important.
Yeah. Sequencing matters, but yeah, cool. The multi-talented. Honestly, the other bonuses are a detriment.
Oh.
But if you can consistently activate the cooldown on a character, it's probably the best set possible.
Yeah, I mean, that is currently the biggest issue I have. The biggest issue is maybe a strong word, but the biggest downside is just when the 4 isn't active. So, if 4 can be up 100% of the time, that is a very interesting case that you make.
And I don't go into the cooldown in arcade.
In the arcade tuning, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I go like mostly completely into what's it called?
Life, I assume?
Yes, and then I go up into a bit for what's it called?
Multi-hit? You do any of that?
No, I actually don't have multi-hit on any of my weapons.
That's actually, at least with the Ancient Knight, that's one of the main things I'm doing with it.
No, it actually kind of interacts weird with Ancient Knight. Like, it's not a bad thing to go into, especially if you're just using it for general. But there's just so much better things for this in particular.
For the Purge?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Like, we could go back and I could switch to my Serena and... Actually, I might actually have Serena already on.
No, we can head back if you want.
Doesn't matter to me. I think... Yes, this... Is that it? No, this is it.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't use that many module or that many catalysts on Serena because I ended up chucking on a couple things for cooldowns that are not the focus on fire, focus on singular, just for the sake of getting a little bit of cooldown there. But if multi-talented gets you to permanent uptime and you don't need this, then that's pretty nice. Oh, also I didn't upgrade this. Should probably do. Oh, but it's just reduce the module cost, in which case not necessary because I have 2 unupgraded modules at the moment. I don't know.
If you're gonna go out looking like
I'm downloading my arcade tuning right now, so I can show you the photo of my arcade tuning.
Oh, okay.
So I can show you the arcade tuning.
I was like,
but
downloading your
have,
arcade tuning? What?
I have the build, my Serena build, just the arcade tuning. There we go. I kind of have to go a roundabout way since I'm on PlayStation.
Oh, right. That's true. So I'm just never bothering to craft the level 10 purple cores.
Never.
Yeah. It's still worth doing it for the other colors, though, right? Obviously green and yellow, but red, blue, orange, eh?
Not really. I could craft 60 oranges right now, but I already have a bunch from, just randomly getting 10s.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not a bad thing to do. Like, if you have a weapon that you want to upgrade and stuff like that, you can craft some just to, get those weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, don't really care about...
You said with, I'm circling back to Albion cavalry gun right now. You were saying for that, you probably want 1 fire rate and 1 magazine size? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. That's also... Yeah, that's green. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both green. Green is just so overpoweringly good.
Oh, except it's really hard to say no to 19% fire rate.
Sorry?
It's really hard to say no to 19% fire rate, though.
No, keep that.
Well, that's 2 19% fire rates now.
Oh. No, then you don't want to keep it.
Yeah, well, it was already a fire rate. I didn't have a magazine size.
Yeah, I guess so.
So double fire rate, double chill attack, and then crit? Does that sound right?
Well, you could build it for like a glaive.
Oh, as it currently stands, and then the magazine size doesn't matter, so this would work?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think there are better weapons for...
Mm-hmm.
I guess for glaive...
Really?
There isn't really, maybe? No,
Really?
well, actually, you don't... Yeah, I guess for glaive there isn't really. Maybe even for Serena. So yeah, keep it that way.
It's one thing when the ranges are small, but when it's a large range and you get exactly the same roll, it's like, come on, man. I would rather you give me 1% less.
Tell you the truth, you'd still want to roll simply so that you can, whether you get 20% or more rounds per magazine. Because, like, as I said, for fire rate, every percentage counts.
Yeah. And now I'm just rolling a different category altogether. Oh. Oh. Great toxic roll. That's not what I'm looking for, though. Great electric roll. Still not what I'm looking for. How high
Honestly,
is...
I'm not too worried about those simply because, one, every percentage doesn't count for those, and two, you get enough of them.
Well, there we go. Okay, well, I got a decent roll on that. Maybe I'll leave it there in that case.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I have a fair bit of crit damage stuff, so maybe I'll try upping this. Nope. Still no. There we go. Okay, nice. Okay. It was a little bit better on the Albion cavalry gun then. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it, since you don't have the battle pass, Albion Cavalry Guns probably is the best weapon just for mobbing.
Mm-hmm.
So you could build it with 2 fire rate cores, but at the same time, you'd want 20% anyway, so, you know...
Yeah, you might as well keep on trying to upgrade it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not quite certain how you'd build it, though, for those characters.
Would you like to hop back in for more purges,
Sure.
or do we want to mix it up with something else? What do you think?
I'm fine with anything.
Alright, maybe I'll go Fiesta this time. Oh, actually...
The daily stuff's actually really good now.
Prone again. Would you be interested in trying the level 2 hard mode purge? I know we did the level 1 a week or two ago. I don't remember how tricky it was.
I don't really like it simply because I don't have the element stuff.
Yeah, this one's electric is the go-to.
Yeah.
What was this one? This one was chill. It's the same as the highest level of the normal.
That's one of the reasons why we completed it so easily.
Yeah,
Because
just take the same thing in. Alright, well maybe in that case, we'll keep it chill.
I think maybe sometime this week I'll put in some time to upgrade my weapons so that they have multiple, instead of just being chill, they can I can switch
and change
them.
The element based on the mission. But then do you also need the module wise, okay, that's fine, just add more catalysts, it just takes a little bit of time. However, does it also...
Yeah, it would. You need to switch the cores. Thing is, I also have 47 attribute cores.
Okay. But you change that? Do you need to change the rolls on the weapon itself?
Do I? Yes, I would.
It's that's why, at the moment, my Ancient Knight is set up with fire damage. Which is convenient because everything just so happens to be well aligned for fire damage. At the moment, there isn't really any content that you want to be doing fire damage for, so it's unfortunate, but at the same time, because I'd have to swap around several different things to switch it to a different element, kind of just feeling like, alright, I'll leave it on fire.
I might keep it that way, because soon, like next week or something like that, there's a new boss coming out.
Yeah.
It's going to be weak to fire damage.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I was... That's what I was wondering, is since Tormentor's been around for a little while, and I think the only element they haven't done yet for the Void Colossus fights is chill, and so that would presumably be weak to fire.
Although Greg's Reverse Fate might be the go-to.
Oh, I threw core on that. Got a 19% fire rate on it in one of the spots, but you could triple down on fire rate on Greg's Reverse Fate, which I don't know if that's the go-to, but could get hilariously fast in that case.
I think it actually is the go-to, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure math people will figure that out once. Well,
especially once the new Colossus is here.
Yeah, when the new Colossus comes out, the math people will figure that out right quick.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, why don't we hop in for a level 30 purge? We'll do a private one this time since we did a few publics. Oh, I pressed the button. I hope you were ready. My bad.
I'm ready.
Did you go Serena this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did put Serena's build and RK on your Discord.
Okay. Thank you.
Do not. My shield is down.
My stupid, what's it called, is so weird. The auto aim.
Oh.
I'll be aiming at someone and all of a sudden the auto aim will just whoosh.
Hmm.
I'm like shooting at the sky.
Oh wow.
I'll ice you all.
Why
That
do you
was
stay
fantastic.
standing? You're frozen. You don't freeze in air.
Oh, don't you know that gravity doesn't apply when you're frozen solid? Just one of those. I believe Einstein was the one to discover that.
I'm hoping now that GTA 6 has been delayed, that they'll start showcasing more weapons, more I'm out of ammo.
Stay where you are.
More what's it called? Release times for games.
Oh yes, yes. I heard that a lot of games were wary of launching right around the same time as GTA 6.
Well, maybe the Horizon people are actually going to release this game without it being alongside a massive IP.
Into the light.
Oh, because that happened with
Every
previous.
single one of their games was within a week of like a generational game.
Oh, that is tough.
The first one was, I think, like
Witcher?
within the week. No, it was several years after Witcher. No, it was a week after Legend of Zelda,
Oh, okay. Yep.
and then
I'll ice you all.
the second game was a week before Elden Ring.
Okay. Yep.
So that's
Also not ideal. Yep, for sure.
the only one that didn't release alongside a generational game was the Lego game. Was Lego.
That one I'm guessing may not have been as mainstream, although that might not be fair.
And it did still release alongside a well-known game. It released alongside Dragon Age.
Oh. Yeah. Even if that was not the most successful.
Yeah.
Alright. I think I'm up for one more if you'd like.
Sure.
Stop jumping on my... I'm deliberately backing up so that you don't jump on my head.
I don't mean to. It's just a habit at this point. Not even to jump on your
Just
head, just
second
to
me.
jump at the front. That's the habit, to jump at the front.
Yeah. Some of
It's
us
just-
are standing at the front.
Yeah, that's what I was actually about to say. Just everyone else stands at the front as well, so...
I could use some mana. Oh, right on cue. Thank you, game.
Pretty good at that. The only time it's not good at that is when you're, you know, in a boss battle or something.
Yeah. Spawn behind me and you're invisible! That was terrifying. That's not what I meant to use. That's what I meant to use.
Stay where you are.
Yeah, once I start shooting, they go down real quick.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get permanent uptime on the fourth, as I was saying, that's a huge deal.
One eye coming in. Scatter. Don't hate me later. Into the light. My shield is down. Take this. Do not fall.
Oh, Greggy boy. I'm back now. Don't make me climb up there just so I can hit you with my skills. Thank you.
Ooh, got 4 ranked 10s. Oh, wow. In fact, 8, 9, and 10s were all green cores.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, very nice.
All right. Why don't we head on back? Maybe we can take another check and see to what extent we can capitalize on those cores. Oh, recognize that skin. Oh,
But whose?
this one... I don't even know what character this is. Directly in front of me.
Huh. I think that's Bunny.
It might be Bunny.
Not certain what skin that is either.
If it's about weapons, you come and talk to me.
And cracked 6 level 10 cores.
Nice. Okay. Let's
I have
see.
10 level 10 cores. Let's see.
That's looking pretty good. Well, then on Restored Relic, is it... So this is specifically for Glay.
Yes, or Serena, actually, both of them.
Serena, you can still get enough ammo for it to work?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get anything.
But for core-wise on Restored Relic, then, at least some fire rate, I assume.
Yeah. All three.
All three?
Yeah. Go all in on fire rate, and then I just put fire attack cores for the other two.
Oh, yes,
Technically, you could use... Actually, that's actually a really good mobbing weapon, so you could, if you get, like, good ice rolls.
Ugh. Well, not getting much of anything good at the moment, besides reload time modifier. Getting really good reload time modifier for a Glay weapon. Wonderful.
Yeah, well, those
really
10
good reload time modifier. Is that the
those
max
10
roll?
green cores, I didn't get anything.
Oh, man. Almost perfect reload time modifier across the board. Ugh. Element-wise on Restored Relic, it's... Fire?
I did fire. Yeah, but you could do chill for, like, if you want to use it as a mobbing weapon instead of the Albion cavalry gun. That's actually a really good choice.
There we go. Well, there's... It has chill at the moment. I don't think I've rolled any mods on this. On the weapon itself. Just see a tiny bit more. And by a tiny bit more, I mean precisely one green core. Well, even more rounds. Rounds per magazine, gold. Almost one off maximum. Reload time modifier, gold. One off maximum. Reload time modifier, gold. One off maximum. Why? On this weapon specifically. Why?
Yeah, and that one you basically don't want to use without, you know...
Blah.
Although, I guess a rounds per magazine kind of helps for Serena, so it's not terrible, but...
Yeah, it's maybe slightly better than nothing, but it's definitely not what I had in mind. Shucks. Bit of a whiff.
Modules will make you...
Not even a bad whiff either. Like, a frustratingly good whiff. This would be great if only these weren't the most meaningless stats.
Yeah. It's really annoying that the most important role is attached to the worst stats and, you know, the most stats.
You already look fine,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna make you look finer.
I do have the core binders to throw stuff on other weapons. Are there any other I mean, Last Dagger I know with really good fire rate can be incredible. Are there any other very high priority weapons for core binders and cores? Preferably ones that don't require greens, because I just ate up all my greens.
Well, all the priority ones are going to have greens
in
attached
general.
to them.
Unless
outside
they're like
of sprints, outside of like stat stick weapons, like Peacemaker, for like just sprint speed.
Oh, I forgot about Peacemaker. Okay.
Yeah, that one's a good one. I actually use that on almost all my, like, everyone I don't have use Secret Garden on, I use Peacemaker on.
Okay. Where does Thunder Cage stand nowadays?
Kind of forgotten about.
Yeah.
It doesn't have very good core rolls and stuff like that. You know, it only has one green, has one
yellow.
everything.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not great. It's not terrible, I guess. But like, there's no content that you'd want to bring anything into it.
Yeah, there's always a
So
better alternative.
yeah.
I don't even. It's been so long since I used Peacemaker. It's hanging out in my stash, not even in my inventory. Think.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
Yeah.
all movement speed. You don't really care about the other rolls.
Oh,
You're
okay.
never going to
Just
shoot it.
have a bunch of yellows.
Yeah, there's 2 yellows and 1 free. So just
Oh yeah, just go triple
2
yellow
sprint,
and.
1 grapple.
What is the max movement speed? Are you at any risk of exceeding the max movement speed with 3 movement speed yellows? Is that at all a concern?
You do actually exceed it with 3 movement speed yellows.
Okay.
And you're like with just 2 movement speed yellows, I am at 1,120. I think the max is 1,300. So like with any movement speed whatsoever, I'm exceeding it. The max. So like on Freyna, not Freyna, Viesa, I'm exceeding it. Bunny, I'm exceeding it. And you still kind of want the grapple speed simply because
Yeah.
even with max sprint speed, you still move faster with grapple.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have with 1 grapple speed, you can have almost 100% uptime on your grapple. In fact, I should upgrade. I do have only a purple. So.
You sure I
It'd be
don't
nice
want
to get a
gold
gold.
weapon change speed?
Yeah,
I mean, it's gold. It must be good, right? That's almost max roll on grappling recharge. Okay. All right.
you don't need max for like the movement speed. It actually like it's the same as fire rate, as I said.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's movement speed. It's not fire rate. You know.
Might just settle for what we have here because it's not bad. Might be better served using some of these on our other weapons that are more in need of yellow cores.
Honestly, I only put yellow cores on
Cool. There we
this guy and the
go. Okay.
what's it called? Secret Garden.
Don't use the green. Don't waste a green, but sure, throw a few reds on there. When you're using Peacemaker, you basically don't fire it. It's just for the sake of being a stat stick speed booster. All right, maybe I won't bother using the other cores at all, or at least putting very little emphasis on that. Okay, it's fast now. The Peacemaker.
Okay. Sorry, I just used 20 different cores and I finally got a gold grapple charge time.
Okay.
That
I mean,
took a
it's
while.
expensive. But that's what I was getting on the other. What was it? Is it green with trying to get fire rate? I forget. I threw a crazy amount at something like that, and it did not work particularly well.
Oh, I think I've done hundreds. I think.
Oh gosh.
Green cores, and I still haven't got a single 20%.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense if you're trying to get the absolute perfect roll, but if you just keep getting absolute garbage, even after throwing tens of cores into there, it's like, all right, please give me at least something to work with here.
Sorry, I do have one 20%, and that's the only yellow one I have. All the other ones are purple.
Okay, so what did you say the max speed was?
1,350, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So that's also just that value there is not linear. Or the way that it scales from
the way
the
it
sprint
scales.
speed is not linear. Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently I never put any modules into Peacemaker. Oops.
I did build it out, but I kind of regret it now simply because
If you need something for battle,
there was never
you
any
won't
need to
find
build it
anyone
out.
better.
I thought there was at least a brief time when it was decent.
Yeah, it still is decent. It's just,
Another one of those
you know,
cases
why
where why
use it when you can use your skills? It's kind of a weird situation that you use it.
Still feel like my yellow cores are better served elsewhere. These are good sprint speed rolls, though. Would be hard to top them. So what? Secret Garden sprint speed, Peacemaker sprint speed. Is there anything else?
That's basically it. I just use tactical rifle or hand cannon for all my characters now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll change next season. We'll see.
I guess I can be a little more aggressive with the yellows then. Yeah, these rolls are already pretty good. And that's... don't give me exactly the same number.
Yeah.
Then proceeds to give me the minimum number instead. 17% sprint speed versus 46 on the grappling hook, which is gold. I think that's like 2 off the max? Maybe 3 off the max?
You already do have a gold grappling hook, and I don't think you need more than that.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, would have been...
Basically, you take mid-air maneuvering with whatever character. I think with a gold grappling hook, I don't think it matters which gold. You have 100% uptime, or like really close to 100% uptime.
Okay. Alright. Well, there's some core crafting action, if you want to call it that. The min-maxing from the cores, which, as we were saying, you know, especially if you are truly trying to get those things as perfectly spec'd as possible, and that can be very time-consuming, but in some cases, you know, you just throw something on, get something decent there, and it's an improvement, if nothing else.
Yeah. Problem is, there's nothing else really to do right now. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, it seems like, as you were saying, we may have a new Void Intercept fight in the near future, so perhaps that'll be in the cards not long from now. And then there is still the Void Challenge Purge, which I've yet to go beyond that first rank that we did a little while back. So that's also a thing. And there's the badge thing, however that works, which apparently neither of us have figured out, so
I still
whatever
have
that
no
is.
idea. Like, I think I got onto that page once, but
I
never
see
got
them
onto it
pretty
again.
often. Like, I remember they said in one of the patch notes that, oh, this is going to be a thing where you can now get badges. And it seemed at the time like, oh, that was going to be, you know, a select number of people who are doing really well at whatever it was that gave them. So I kind of just wrote it off as something that, you know, I'm probably not going to go out of my way to do that, and probably will never get it in that case. But I see so many of them that I start to question that assumption. I feel like it would be under leaderboard. I don't know.
I don't think it's on the leaderboard.
Records? No, but that's not records as in personal records. That's records as in recordings. Like library and lore and stuff like that. Awards? Oh, metal.
I remember-
Here, I see it. I found it.
It's in his journal.
Journal awards medal.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. Suddenly, there is one for acquiring records. Okay. Suddenly, it's clear.
I am one short of the weapons.
I think I am. I'm too short of what? What is this? Own a level 4 unique ability ultimate weapon. Oh, that's because. Wait, what?
Battle Pass.
Yeah, but I remember looking, and there were only 29 weapons when I did this.
No, there's 30 weapons now. I don't have the weapon you get from normal. What's it called?
Oh, is it? Wait. I'm only seeing 29. Am I filtering this somehow? Oh? What am I not seeing? Is Malevolent just not showing up here for some reason? I feel like I'm not seeing that. Because I don't have it fully... I don't have that one fully leveled out, nor do I have Excava, because that was a previous Battle Pass weapon. The only one I see without the maxed unique stuff, which is those square or orange icons there, is Excava. So yeah,
I don't see Malevolent on that list either.
That's just weird.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it show that? Huh. Alright.
Oh, I don't have Excava level, so there's 31 weapons.
Huh? Why don't they just show all the weapons?
I don't have Excava at level 4 either.
Yeah. That's weird. I just don't understand why the information is very inconsistent. Complete achievements.
I could get the Excava level 4.
There are achievements.
Pretty easily.
These? All these things? These considered achievements? I don't know. $458? Is that all of them? Not quite, but the number is close to that, so that would kind of make sense. Have all the Descendants, I assume. Acquire it. Go out and hunt down a bunch of additional records. I mean, I'm not particularly keen on doing that, but apparently it gets you a medal. Oh, and then this is basically use a weapon core on all or all but one of the ultimate weapons for that.
I'm not doing that anytime soon.
Yeah.
I think I might have enough, but...
Own a Descendant group that is... Wait. Oh, max out RK factor on basically all the Descendants. Okay. Own an enhancement level 10 module. That one's... Oh, 400? I was about to say that one's not too bad, but that probably means you're basically maxing out every or almost... Well, no, there are fewer than 400 modules. You can see how many modules there are, in fact. I think... Well... Yes, you can. There are... Okay, 739 modules. So, you... A little more than half.
Oh my god, I just saw one that made me cry if someone actually got this one. The Descendant module badge.
I just saw this too. Oh my goodness. I mean...
I saw Own a Descendant with 60 modules, socket types, and I thought, okay, I've seen a couple people do that, so... Then I saw 0 out of 20. You mean to tell me...
I did not see the 0 out of 20 part. That's ridiculous. Yeah. That is ridiculous. Yeah, no, just a single one with 60 modules would be crazy. But okay, maybe that's your badge. But do that 20 times over? That's actually insane. clear stage 30, what we were just doing, 1,000 times. Okay, I mean, some of these things are like, almost all of these are, just do almost the full amount of insert crafting option or insert endgame content here. Let's grind that a lot. Own an ultimate weapon with 50 module sockets. You need to do it 30 times.
Yeah, no.
Nope. I feel like I have seen people with this badge, though, because this one...
I think several of the badges are very
okay,
similar.
I was going to say, yeah, I've seen the one that has the weapon, the gun on it, because that stands out a little bit more, but okay, yeah, this one's a lot easier than this one. Yeah, wait, okay, why would you ever do the super difficult, super grindy ones, especially if the badge is at least visibly the same as ones that are exponentially easier?
Yeah, makes no sense whatsoever.
I wonder if they'll go back and add some more art for some of the other ones, because yeah, okay. Alright. I'll definitely pass on some of these. What is this one? Oh, an ultimate reactor with 3 optimization. That's not... Oh. Okay, but again, do 20 of them. More than I would like to do. Like, if you just have a crazy amount of resources lying around, like, okay, if you have a ton of Kuiper, sure. If you really want to, you could fully upgrade a bunch of modules. There you go. There's your...
I'm actually over halfway there.
Yeah.
Simply because there's so many reactors where I, just add some module slots so that I can use it for farming or something like that.
Wait, the weapons with... Or the reactors with different weapon types, or the upgrading modules one?
Welcome. You're
The
here for modules, right?
reactors.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm 11 out of 20, so I could do that pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, there are some of them where, you might actually make a bit of progress, or you might have already made a decent bit of progress, or even if you haven't done so yet, it does give you more convenience to, like, okay, maybe I don't need to have 400 modules fully ranked up, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to, whenever I want a module...
I think it's actually a bad thing to do that, because whenever you rank up a module, it counts as a new module type. So like when you...
Oh, it starts to clutter your module capacity in your inventory?
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2,000 now, so I feel like you might be still fine. But I see what you're saying.
I think as soon as I do any farming that involves module stuff, like if I wasn't focused on the purge, then I'd have a lot more trouble.
Mm-hmm. Well, we found out how to do the metals. Some of them are a lot more straightforward than others. Some of them, I mean, all of them do require quite a bit of grinding, or at least access to endgame-ish stuff. But some of them are just insane. Please.
Yeah.
Please, people, do not go to the crazy extents it takes just to get a reward that is indistinguishable from other rewards that are far, far easier to get.
At this point, I'm actually tempted to go for the Void Purge one. Probably not going to, but...
The one for the stage 30?
Purge?
Yeah, I mean, like... Yeah, if you're farming up cores, then you might not hit 1,000, but you might get a chunk of the way there, and presumably, in the future, when more weapons are released, you might want to craft those up. Other existing weapons get buffed. You have reason to throw some cores into those. Okay. There's reason to have extra cores, or at least it's very convenient to have a bunch of extra cores lying around. So, it's not the worst thing to farm. Definitely not.
Yeah, the weapons, I'll probably just wait till next season and farm whatever weapon comes out next season.
Yeah, that's also... Some of these if the numbers stay the same and they add more descendants, or they add more weapons, they add more modules, suddenly you don't need to be right near the maximum number to still get these medals. Now you might only need to get, 75% or even 50%, and then it becomes a lot easier.
And next season, for the Battle Pass, they're going to also add skins.
Okay.
So it might actually be worth getting, like, outside of just the weapon. Like, I got this season simply because the weapon was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is like the first season where the weapon's good outside the Vulgis.
It might. I think it's just that the Battle Pass weapons are the ones that, for whatever reason, don't show up on this weapon screen, which is weird.
It does have some Battle
But
Pass
it has
weapons,
a
though.
Excava, which was Battle Pass, right? So was
Sigor's
Sigvor's
Proof was too.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Why not just include all of them here? Why would there ever be a reason to not show all the weapons in the place where it's supposed to show all the weapons?
I have no idea.
Beats me.